And we're live.
What's up?
What's up? What's up,
Happy New
everybody?
Year.
What's up? Yeah, New Year's Eve, New Year's, Stay away from the plantation.
Yeah, yeah.
2020 vision. Stay away from the plantation.
Try to.
Yeah.
How's your day been going, man?
Everything's good. Everything's good. Enjoying the single life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, same here. Um, I worked today earlier, but then I kind of took it easy for a few hours when I got off work and
Yeah. I
just.
had seen the recent video you did on hiking. I didn't even finish watch it. Oh, MGTOW Farmer, what up, man?
Where's he at?
He's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me show it. It's on the screen. I show it on the screen. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
What's up, farmer? How you doing?
He's in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured this will probably be what the last of the holiday streams for a while.
Yeah, for a while. Yeah. It's pretty good timing before the ball drop at 12. So Orange is here. What's up, Orange?
He made it.
You made it.
Yeah, but anyway, I sent off another invite, so we'll see how this one goes tonight.
Yeah, sweet. Orange says he'll join in later. All right, no
Oh, okay.
problem, man. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Should do like a good 1 hour, 2 hour stream, good long enough stream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much to cover
Hey,
every.
I remember he sent me an email earlier. He said he had some date with some fat chick tonight, and then he was going to join later. But
He said he had some date with some fat chicks. He's mad random. This guy's so random. Nah, it's not. No, nope. In an hour and 45 minutes, it will be New Year's. Yeah, not now. It should be very soon. The ball should drop pretty soon. In an hour and 35 minutes, it should be dropping soon. So
yeah, well, I'm on Central Time, so here it's
okay.
um
Yeah.
fucking 9:45, basically.
Oh, sweet.
But figured it'd be interesting.
True that.
What you got? Well, actually, we could kind of get into some of those questions I was talking about that I sent. Um, I guess one for you. Some of the questions I had were like the same. I put them into a document this time, so they're a little bit easier to read. But
Oh, that's
uh,
sweet, man. Yeah, that's cool.
so do you have, like, for you personally or your channel? You got any plans or changes for the channel or yourself personally for the new year?
Well, I'm expecting another collaboration with old Sean. So the collaboration should be coming pretty soon after the New Year's.
Okay.
And we'll take it from there. I'm gonna do more collabs than just straight uploads because I think it's important to collab and gather together with all this Cooper rule going around. So I think it's important to collab more and let everybody know that we're watching we're watching your videos, we're interested and interview people. So treat them human being.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up, Jeff? Happy New Year's to you, man. He said Happy New Year's, pimps. Pumping a fat chick is like driving a bus. Yeah. He say Jojo Mama. Lull Jojo Mama. Oh, it's 11:44 over here. Oh, so the ball should be dropping pretty soon. 16 minutes. The in your area.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In his area, yeah.
Is there anything special with well, he's not on here. I guess I can ask him later, but I was going to see if there's anything special Puerto Ricans do for the new year.
Yeah, good. That's a good question. Yeah, Orange. Yeah, that's a good question. Say live streams are fun, not going to lie, laughing with the chat is hilarious. Yeah, true that. Yeah. Especially with Orange. He has stories to tell. Orange,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
especially with Orange. Yeah.
uh, looks like
Do reality. What's up, man?
what's going
Gents.
on?
What's up?
Duality reality, the man.
I feel Eastern time is the real one. Yeah, I'm in Eastern time right now. It's 10:46. I mean 47 p.m. right
Yeah.
now. So, you know, everybody else is going across the street to go to this rooftop party. Me, I'm like, who gives a shit? I just want to talk to y'all guys.
I guess well, I've never been in New York for New Year's Eve, but I was there on Thanksgiving one year, and it's definitely a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot, especially if you like the nightlife scene. There's a lot in New York.
Mhm.
The nightlife scene. How you doing, fellas? I'm doing good, doing great, doing great. Just talking to you guys, enjoying my New Year's, enjoying my loner life. Talk to you guys, pretty much. Say to me, you effing twat. You fudging twat. How is it going, the fat wanker? Fat.
That must have spilled over from the Discord. They got
Uh,
some interesting conversation going on over there.
oh, nice. So you had to do voice message or regular text on Discord.
I don't know. I haven't never tried doing a voice message on it. I know
Uh,
you can do the regular text, but
yeah.
Orange Tangos, he's one of the shit disturbers over there. But,
Do
I mean that
reality
in
say
a good
OT kiss my crumpets.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah. So you said you plan on doing some more streams and collaborations with people.
Yeah. Collaboration. Just with
Streams or
him.
cover videos,
What's up?
like just all mainly streams, or you gonna try and do like different types of videos, or
Yeah, we're gonna do stream. When it comes to collaboration, yeah, definitely
okay.
streams. Definitely streams. Because to let everybody know that okay, we got special guests coming through on the live stream instead of just me by myself talking. It's like I'd rather just do it a regular offline video of just me talking than doing a live stream talking. It's like make it like a special guest. Okay, we got someone that joined in, Ohio Dan.
Oh,
You
okay.
fami-
Yeah.
okay, you familiar with
Yeah.
him?
Yep.
Okay, let me let him in.
What's up, guys?
How
Hey
you
Dan, how you doing?
doing? What's up?
Hey, just want to say to start off with, this is the first live stream I've ever been on. So if something
Wow.
goes wrong, I'm going to blame technical issues for it, not myself. So
Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for inviting me.
No
Yeah, I
problem.
appreciate it. Appreciate you making it on. I know Dan's content. I originally was Sunrise Hoodie is the one who turned me on to Dan's channel, and he's got a lot of good stuff on there. And I'm not sure how to describe your channel. I mean, it is a red pill MGTOW channel. I would say that.
Yeah.
But how would you describe it, Dan?
My channel is basically kind of just anything that I really want to discuss that I think is an important topic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it revolves around kind of the current situation today for men and just the political system that we have today being so screwed up. But a lot of it's just kind of also things that I feel like I've learned over the last several years that I wish that I knew like 10 years ago about life and stuff like that in general. So just anything that falls into those categories, I'm willing to talk about. I don't make content as much as I'd like to, but I have a lot of ideas for new content and videos. We'll see if it actually gets done or not, though.
Yeah, I understand that. It's a never-ending battle. Well, I mean, I guess I don't want to maybe not never-ending, but it's difficult. Like the whole, at least for me in my regular life, to do my job, and because I have a part-time job and a regular job,
Yeah.
to do that, and then still try and make some kind of quality content, So I feel your pain there, but I'm kind of getting back into it a little bit.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. I'm still going hard making content. Either repost a favorite content of mine or start a little bit of my own. I try to get a little creative with my videos. Yeah.
Well, that's good. And
Yeah.
occasionally roasting some of the PUAs and stuff like that too.
I don't know if you have been on my channel. I just diss these no fat people. These no fat people that prove my point that they're doing it for women. So I expose one of them guys.
Yeah, I haven't personally made any anti-PUA videos, but I didn't really understand it when I first got into MGTOW. When I first started watching the MGTOW content, why the MGTOW are so against the PUA, but I get it now. As far as that, they're trying to they're trying to bring guys back to the plantation.
Yeah, it's true, because if you type in the word MGTOW, the first thing that you come up, you see 2 videos of John Somas, aka Bulldog Mindset, on the freaking top search result. I said, why is this motherfucker on the MGTOW search result? Nobody's not gonna go to him to see MGTOW knowledge. What is he doing there?
Yeah.
And he pretty much beat the algorithm with his PUA tactic.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed with them is they're definitely all in it for the money. So.
Of course. And YouTube probably paid him or did something to make him the top search result of MGTOW. It's ridiculous. It's like, what this motherfucker been? It's like, what the? Yeah.
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 But how's things been going for you lately, Dan? I know you were you took a break there from making some videos, but you put a new one out recently.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot going on. I've had a lot of Christmas stuff and family get-togethers and stuff like that over the last week or two. But other than that, I don't really have a whole lot that interesting going on. Just to reply to what you said about the PUAs, it's kind of a shame that it has to be that way, because they have a lot of understanding of what's going on in our culture today and stuff. And it's just like all the different groups within, you could call it the red pill community or the men's community. They have, kind of the same understanding of how things are, but then they want to take advantage of it and exploit men anyway, or just, basically not have the intention of getting people to wake up, but instead getting people to continue to make bad decisions in the current system. And it's just, it would be nice if every kind of subgroup of the manosphere could work together, but it's not realistic because you have people that just want to make money and take advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
And then, it would be nice, even with some of the people that are MRAs or anti-feminist in that sense, but they don't consider themselves MGTOW. Even some of the women that make content for the manosphere, it's it would be nice if they actually were wanting to help men, but a lot of them aren't. And it's just it's hard to really discern the people that have good intentions from bad intentions, but it's just difficult. Nobody's ever going to really work together. Everybody just kind of has a different ideological goal or money-making goal or whatever. And it's just, it's a shame it has to be that way, but people just don't really work together. It's not really realistic to expect that, I guess.
You brought up some really great points, and that can relate to a situation when it comes to friendship. You'll always be comfortable with the friends you feel comfortable with, but if you decide to get everybody in your group, you're always gonna have some backstabber, somebody join join to be a friend with you for a hidden agenda.
Yep.
And that's the same thing when it comes to the MGTOW community. Some do it to promote nofap / semen retention. Some promote it to make money with affiliate marketing, and some do it for drama marketing and stuff like that. So it's crazy.
Well, that's a good point that Dan brought up too about the they're not completely full of shit. They do have knowledge on the subject.
Right.
It's just they're twisting it to their own personal benefit. They make it sound like it's to benefit you and me or whoever watches their shit. But in the end, it's they're not doing that shit for free. At least most of them aren't.
Yeah.
Right, and like I have no problem with people that really take donations if people want to donate to them, making videos and stuff like that. But it's just a matter of like, what is the overall motivation of different people? And unfortunately, it's like you don't know for a while sometimes what people's motivations are, and sometimes you do. But it's just you have a lot of these guys have this knowledge, but then they don't want to use it to actually help men or to actually talk about our society for what it really is. Instead, they just take advantage of it. And it's just like, it prevents people from working together the way they should. And that's what a lot of the feminists and a lot of the traditional conservatives and other people that are truly, anti-red pill knowledge, basically, that's what they want. And it keeps us kind of separated. And it just is what it is. We still have to try to make as much content, I think, as we can to help men, but it's just there's always going to be some divisiveness, even within MGTOW itself. It's just kind of how it is.
So wait, you're saying that not everyone's going to get along at the same time for the same reason, for the same cause? What the fuck kind of shit is that?
What I'm saying is, even people that. Oh, okay. Well. Basically,
hey Dan, this is the When in Doubt MGTOW. He just joined in.
Yeah, When in Doubt. Yeah. Welcome to the stream, man.
What up, brethren?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I wasn't trying to talk necessarily just yet. I was listening to the Ohio dancer talking about, PUAs and shit, right?
Yeah. When in Doubt MGTOW, he likes fucking with people, Dan. So.
I see that.
Don't take it to heart.
Sorry, man. If you're sensitive, I'm not the right guy.
No, not really. I mean, I was, it's just I don't really care. People can react however they want, anyhow.
So it kind of sounds like what you were talking about. You lament the fact that there is such division. Is that correct?
Yeah, because a lot of people, they understand what the situation is in society as a whole, or for men as a whole, but then they use that knowledge for their own gain rather than to actually wake people up. And it would be nice if, like, the MRAs and MGTOW and different groups of men would work together, but it's not very realistic in a lot of cases.
It would also be nice if hoes stopped being hoes, but hoes will be hoes, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much.
I guess my point is, what are you doing to fix it?
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Basically, I make content and talk about these issues and try to help people become more aware.
Like, what actions do you take in life to correct what you see as wrong?
I don't think there is a whole lot we can do in life as far as, like, getting specific people to wake up, because most people don't want to.
Are you awake?
I try to be.
The fuck kind of answer is that? Are you awake or are you sleeping?
Well,
are you still plugged into the system? Are you just another agent?
No, not exactly. More or less, like I say, all you can do is try to get people to understand the overall situation between men and women, what's going on politically and legally in our culture.
I understand what you're saying, but that is incorrect. You say that's all we can do. That is far from all we can do. There is outreach. There is awareness.
Would you suggest, then?
Oh, what would I suggest? Yep. I don't know your situation, but for myself, it's about more than online shit. It's reality.
Okay, such as? Like,
there's things I can do, like red pilling guys in the community, talking shit through with them as a way of outreach and as a way of building a community in the real world, going to places and taking back men's spaces, calling bitches out on their shit in real time to the face. There's that shit, right? There's that shit you can do, low risk shit, and then there's the higher risk shit, which I could get into a little bit of it, but it's like mischief. Just maybe destruction of property, stuff like, paint, putting a message out there, like slight vandalism, like breaking lights and stuff. There's low impact but yet risky behavior, and then there's the higher risks. What it comes down to is, what are you willing to do?
Probably none of those kinds of things, because those are the kinds of things that are just going to land me in jail for no reason.
Sure, but then what are you willing to do is the question.
Well, I mean, that's just like what I've said. Like, I don't think a lot of the things you're mentioning are actually happening. Like, you mentioned a community, a red pill community or a men's community in the real world. Where is this community? Like,
okay, are you trying to, like, show up?
What do you mean? Like, being...
Okay, let me rephrase. Are you trying to question the genuinity of my statement, or are you trying to, like, meet up at the community to be part of it?
I don't think such a community really exists. Not in most places.
Well, yeah, it doesn't exist. You make it happen. You make it exist.
Hey,
and if you don't have that, it's because you aren't doing it.
Hey, I just want to interject for clarity, because Dan, I don't think Dan is familiar with your content, and it's just for me to, you can please correct me if I'm wrong, but when in doubt, MGTOW is more for, or Satanic Sinbad, he's more for he's wanting, or he promotes more of an active activism type role. I personally, we've kind of had our disagreements with it before. I'm not personally for that, but again, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't have kids like he does, and I could give a fuck less if society crumbles and just fucking crashes and burns. But that's my little sidebar thing. Does that help out, Dan, with the explanation?
Well, yeah, I guess. And my position is going to be, there's no reason to do antisocial things like that in society, because that's not going to change anything. You're just going to get thrown in prison for it. So
okay, well, all right. So let me clarify. It's not about necessarily doing the things that I just said. The things I said are examples. My point is, according to your own scale of morality, you need to go out into the world and take action. Otherwise, no one will. So according to your own sense of morality, go out and take action in the real world instead of just putting shit on YouTube, instead of just putting shit on social media. Affect the real world.
And I guess I would say that the best way to affect the real world is to get more people to wake up. And you can do that in real life, and you can do that online. But until there's a certain number of people that are willing to do that, you're not going to change society. It's just
but that's just passing the buck, saying I'm not going to do it until others are willing to do it. Yeah, well, everyone's going to say that. You got to be willing to make the step.
By me making my videos, and AJ and Dan and yourself, is that just not doing anything? Is that
no? It is doing something, but it's just doing that on the.
All right, we got Sydney MGTOW coming through
in real life.
Oh, right on.
Sydney,
oh, not much, guys. Happy New Year's Day here in Sydney. Happy New Year's Eve to all of you. I'm just heading down past the new tram tracks down towards Circular Quay so I can pick up my motorbike, because I worked last night doing security, and my bike got locked in, so I had to catch public transport home, and I'm just going to go pick it up now. So I apologize about all the background noise. I'll have to sort of mute the mic from time to time.
That's some crazy latency.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna flip the camera if I see anything hilarious for you guys. Yeah.
No problem.
I'm gonna mute for now, just so that you guys can keep chatting. Please feel free to ask away if there's anything. I'll interject. But yeah, please continue.
All right, no problem.
So yeah, we were. I guess we were just maybe clarifying positions, but at the same time, I mean that. I think I just don't think that making videos is. I mean, if we were truly doing nothing, we'd be the people that didn't have channels, didn't make any fucking content.
Well, again, I'm not saying that making videos is nothing. I'm just saying that there has to be more to it. There has to be something behind the scenes. There has to be some sort of real life effect.
In your opinion,
well, no, just moving forward. Like if you look back, if a bunch of people are making videos, but no one's taking action in real life to affect a change, then
MRAs have already
people
tried
making
doing
videos are hoping that that's happening.
Well, and my point would be my counterpoint, and thus again, maybe I'm misunderstanding you. MRAs have already tried this shit, and without success.
Well, that would be
if you're talking legal, outside the legal realm, then no, they haven't, I guess. But
some people have, and it doesn't often end well for them. You've seen, that's part of the reason why people are going crazy and shooting up people at times. So, I mean, that's just not really a realistic mentality to have.
So, Ohio Dan, what would your step forward, what would your action forward be? Just to keep making videos?
I think that's important. Yeah. I think that's the main thing that we can do. But I also think that, we also could change people's minds on things and actually have discussion about the issues that are important to men or to the way society is as a whole. But, I think part of the red pill, and this is just my opinion, part of red pill knowledge is realizing that society itself is not probably going to get back on track no matter what we do. And so I don't think that doing anything in particular to try to set our society itself back on the right course is going to succeed. I think it's unrealistic. And because of that, all you can really do is get enough people to wake up and see the situation for what it is, so that when enough people, basically when society unravels, hopefully there are enough people that are aware of what's going on, not to make the same mistakes that our society's made. But to say that we can change things in terms of society itself, I would doubt that.
So it sounds like you're only willing to do that which you are allowed to do. Is that correct?
No, I'm saying that I only am willing to do what can actually have a positive result. If there's no outcome, somehow I like it.
If I may interject, I largely agree with that point that I personally think the videos are really important, because a lot of us guys wouldn't even be here having this conversation if it wasn't for videos we've seen and concepts that we actually come across. So from that perspective, I think it's really important. And I think quite often, we underestimate the impact that we might be having. Like, let's say if we're someone with 1,800 subscribers, right? It's like, well, what happens if 3 of those subscribers have a conversation with 5 people each? That's 15 people's trajectory of life that would potentially change. And that's a lot of people when you multiply that and you start to amplify subscriber numbers and you start to factor in mainstream media attention and things like this. And what was just said a moment ago, because I was walking, I obviously wasn't looking at the screen, so I couldn't see whose mic it was. I heard someone saying about society getting back on track. It's like, well, exactly what track do we want it to get back on? I mean, like when we say track, are we talking about going back to traditionalism where the guy pays for everything and just shuts the fuck up and happy wife, happy life? Of course we don't want that. That's the last thing we want. So I think if we're going to talk about getting things back on track, it's like, that's not the way forward. That's the way backwards. So the way forward is for us to actually withhold that which has previously been utilized of ours to placate those that don't care for us. So that's doing things such as structuring our assets in a way where they can't be touched by the government, by women, by saying no, by not wasting money on shit that we don't need. I mean, companies go broke because people stop spending money on them. If it wasn't for Kodak having all of the patents for cameras, they would not exist right now as an entity. They would be completely bankrupt because digital cameras took over the industry and they didn't evolve fast enough. And that's what we are actually doing right now. We are evolving. We are changing minds. We're changing perceptions. And by way of what we're essentially doing and sharing the knowledge, like I literally had a conversation on New Year's Eve last night because I was working down at the Sydney Opera House. And there was a Russian lady that I spoke to, and I recognized she was speaking Russian. So I said, "Привет," which is, "How are you?" in Russian, basically. And she's like, "Oh, you speak Russian?" I was like, "No, look, just a little bit. I went there, so please don't start speaking to me in Russian, but I just wanted to show you that courtesy." And she was saying that her son, who's Russian as well, obviously, he's had 2 Russian girlfriends in Australia. And in the beginning, they've been all loving and sweet and, kiss, 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 and cooking dinners and, being a good traditional housewife. But now they're just complaining about him not doing the things that they should be doing. And she literally said to me, if you want to find a good girl, he goes, if he wants to find a good girl, he's going to have to go to Russia, but not in Moscow, and not in St. Petersburg, not in any of the big centers. But he has to go to a little village and get himself a nice, sweet girl straight out of school and marry her, and then they'll both be happy. And this is like a Russian woman saying this. And this is the thing, like, it's because of the poor choices that we as men have made that have resulted in the outcomes we're currently seeing. And through these videos and through this shared content and through these conversations that have been sparked as a result of these, that's what's actually causing this evolution and this change, and people to actually make more informed choices and be aware of the red flags and to avoid those people. And of course, we've got this dearth of women saying, "Oh, where have all the good men gone? Men are just afraid of commitment." It's like, let them say that for the next 30 years until they're a walking egg cemetery and they're completely irrelevant for anything but voting purposes. And even then, they've only got another 10 to 15 years left. Massive, like, feminism has been going since the early 1800s, even though most people don't know that. Probably about 1825, I think it was, the movement started. And it was basically a bunch of privileged white bitches who had a chip on their shoulder and wanted to get a whole heap of things that they thought everyone else had, that it was only a few people that had. So, I mean, that's just what I see. It's going to take a long time, but I think staying the course, educating others, that's really going to change things. Even saw a TED Talk this morning from 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, 2009. And it was a woman talking about the rise of women and how, now women are the ones working 18-hour days and men are the ones staying at home looking after the kids. And the women are like, well, this is bullshit because it's meant to be a shared effort. But it's like, sweetheart, unless you've got someone up your sleeve that can look after the kids before and after work, before and after school, when that crossover period takes, you're not going to have 2 people working 9 to 5:30 every single day in a household. It just doesn't work like that. And if you make it work like that by paying for all this, you're essentially, unless one person's making a stupid amount of money, you're essentially paying that entire person's wage just in childcare to not spend time with your kid, and then you wonder why they turn out to be a criminal or a drug dealer or whatever other negative outcome happens to these kids. Yeah, talk to me.
I'm not saying videos are bad. My question is,
I went on a bit of a tangent there.
We're getting some really bad feedback for some reason.
Sharing information that wakes people up and having conversations with people that don't know another perspective. I think those are the 2 biggest things that we can do to change things a lot. Like the amount of women I've been talking about feminists, and they're like, but feminism's about equality. And I was like, I've literally had a conversation with them about egalitarian versus feminism, send them videos of feminists saying feminism is about taking power from men. I was like, do you want to take power from men and control and dominate men. Is that what you want? And they're like, no, of course not. I just want equality. I was like, do you want equal outcomes or do you want equal opportunity? And they're like, well, equal opportunity is not fair if we get equal outcomes if we don't do the same. I was like, cool. So what you're saying is you're an egalitarian, not a feminist. Because right now, feminists have essentially taken every woman that says that they're all for equal opportunity and said, well, you're a feminist because you believe in equality. But that's a different type of equality. And they only get them on board because they need the numbers. If they already had the numbers, they wouldn't need to get egalitarians on board and fool them into thinking that they're feminists. But if you
that's like saying women only take on men that they actually want a relationship with. They don't have orbiters.
Sorry, what was that? Yeah, what did you say?
I was saying that's like saying women only around that they actually have a relationship. They don't actually have orbiters. It's not a thing.
Well, look, I mean, even any moderately attractive women, for any reason whatsoever, is going to have orbiters. I mean, that's just how it is, right? Because look, women, Briefholt's law, right? The female determines all the conditions of the animal kingdom, where no further benefit can be derived from an association taking place, no further association takes place. So, and I mean, what benefit does an orbiter beta male have to give the woman? Like, he's just searching for benefits because he's got nothing to give. So he's begging on the street, you know what I mean? He's on a corner with a cardboard sign, basically. And these guys are just going to play the numbers and hope that they get a little slice at some stage. And most of them will, when a girl's down and out, or she's just, you know, feeling vulnerable, or whatever the case may be. So
yeah, I know how it works. I'm just trying to get to a point. There's like you can't hope for guys to wake up for women to change their mind, and then say, oh wait 30 years.
Well, we can let women work it out in 30 years' time when there's too many regrets.
Give them 30 years.
Yeah,
30 years is a long time, man.
Well, this is why we actually need to red pill women as well as men. Like there's one person on YouTube. I'm so sorry about the mic, guys. I don't know why it's so shit.
It's your speakerphone, actually.
Oh, is yours? Is it?
Yeah, it's not your microphone. We're hearing.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to walk away from the road here so it's a bit less noisy. There's a person on YouTube called Pink Hedonist, Hedonist. She emailed me a while back, and you know, look, I get a lot of women emailing me, and I know what so many women are like. They want validation, they want a shout out, and I was like, I'm not going to do that because I want to see consistency over time and a consistent, real, genuine message that aligns with reality and not just some feminist delusion before I even utter your name under my breath in private, you know? And I feel like she's really hit the nail on the head, and we need to start getting more women like this. Like she even said to me, she goes, Pink Hedonist, Hedonist.
I'm gonna do a deep dive on her.
Because you know, like I don't like giving female YouTube channels plugs unless they're genuinely got content that's real. And same with guys, right? I'm just gonna go. I get people email me, oh, can you give me a shout out? It's like, man, you start producing some good content that aligns with my views, that I think is worth someone hearing, or even if it opposes my views, like there's facts behind it, sure, no worries. So this girl, she told me how, you know, she used to be chubby and, you know, she basically went through a stage and lost a heap of weight, and then guys started to be attracted to her again. And she went through basically, which is something, I guess, which would loosely equivalent to our red pill rage, right? Which is like, well, you know, this is fucking bullshit that we've been lied to. And is this really the reality? Like, do I have to be slim, you know, to serve men? And she was saying she used to be a feminist as well, but she realized once she observed real life examples of red pill knowledge playing out, she's like, holy shit, this is the way it is. And I'm never going to be happy chasing my career my whole life if I don't actually have a fulfilling relationship with someone. So now she's got a good relationship, and she even told the guy I'm just going off what she's told me, right? She was saying to me how she told him that, it's her job to basically do the cooking because he's not that great at cooking and he felt ashamed about it. And apparently he looked at her like a unicorn had just spoken, or like, it's like, did I just hear what I thought I said? And she was saying how it was so sad that, it's so rare for someone to hear something like that. Like, that's how it should be. And like, I'm not saying women should be barefoot and in the kitchen. Like, if you genuinely find more fulfillment from working in a corporate career than having a family, having people around you that care about you, go ahead, no problem. Like, as long as you know the truth about the reality and you still make that choice, more power to you. That's totally cool. I have no objection to it. But it's when entire generations of half of our population, and that's not including our half, have been lied to and are operating under completely false pretenses, I have an issue with that. And that's why we need to educate women, because the only people that can really, it takes a very, very open-minded woman and a very articulate man to be able to red pill properly. And I'm not perfect at it yet, but it's a lot easier for women to convince other women about things without being so articulate. So the more women we red pill, in my view, as a collective, whether that's by way of videos, conversations, or them observing us, the better. And, the more of a cohesive society we're going to have moving forward in a different form, of course. It's never going to go back to traditionalism, but I don't think that's such a terrible thing. I think there needs to be a balance, and, maybe on an individual basis is that traditional framework might actually work for a lot of people.
So then, just to clarify, you are okay with this possible change, spending 30 years.
But what other choice do we have?
A lot of choices.
What do you see would be the biggest thing that we could do to reverse the damage that's been done so far?
Well, to reverse it,
let it play out and rescue as many people as we can.
What you can do is take action to stop the same damage from happening again and again.
Sorry, can you just repeat that sentence? It's just really noisy down here. I apologize.
You can't repair the damage already happened because it happened.
Correct.
What you can do is take action, correct behavior, from repeating again and again.
Yeah, correct. And just to be clear, so we're on the same page, and I'm pretty sure we will be, what specific action is it that you're suggesting that we take in order to correct the behavior and make it better?
Well, I'll say it like I usually say it. I don't recommend specific action. What I do recommend is that men that see the things in into the real world and take action in the real world. If you want to make video, fine, great. Have that community, but also do more. Also do something in the real world.
So what sort of things are you suggesting?
Their own scale of morality.
What you're saying, just people like live out in real life what these people are saying in videos? Is that what you mean?
Have the courage to live by your tradition.
Oh, 100%. And I think that's really important. And absolutely, I think I would say the majority of content creators that are out there that are putting their face out there, that are making this stuff, would most of the time live by their conviction. Why else would you live such a lie? And I think there's a lot of people out there who are like, well, I agree with this content. I don't want to put my face out there because, I've got too much to lose, or at least that's their perception, right? But I'm still going to live by these principles. And I'm noticing that, like, I'm bumping into people, like, just in the course of doing my job, where I'm having conversation with them, and they know about MGTOW. They've heard of the manosphere. Some of them I've even had people come up and knock me and see my content, and like, these guys are at uni and they're like, man, all this stuff that's going on at uni, this is what's going on. This is, how I've been counteracting it. I think there's a lot of people out there that are actually taking real life action by living by their convictions and also helping other people to do so without being public about it.
Welcome to Gadigal Land. This is the Opera House.
Welcome to Gadigal Land. Yes, I get it. We're on Aboriginal land. Fuck off. Yeah. Yeah. So what were you saying in response to me?
Well, I guess the biggest thing, I mean, it pains me to see that there's a lot of guys out there that say they understand the truth, and maybe they even do. Maybe it's not they're incorrect, but then that's all they do is they acknowledge the truth, and then they stick their head in the sand and try to wait for everything to pass them by, or wait for someone else to make the change happen. Like, take some responsibility for your life. Take some responsibility for changing it. Otherwise, why hope someone else is going to change it for you?
Yeah, but are you proposing that these people make changes to other people's lives or just their own?
All of our lives are intertwined. One person's life changing affects the other.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't having conversations with people and educating them on things they don't already know and encouraging them to do things that they should be doing for their own betterment, wouldn't that classify as?
No, that's offering them the chance to change their mind.
Well, like, could you give me a specific example? Like, say, like, okay, a person should do this specific thing or say this specific thing or take these specific actions. Like, just give me an example of something just so that I've got the right context so that we can be on the same page.
Okay. So I don't really prescribe action, and I would not want to do that because I don't want to make other men's choices for them. But I would say that if you are the kind of man that wants things to change and you're willing to take action, you should. What action you do take, you should think about. Well, according to your morality, what actions are you willing to take? You don't have to hurt people. You don't have to destroy things. But there are things you can do. And it depends on you.
Though, at some point, you have to have specific examples to back up what you're saying, though.
No, I don't. You're not my boss. You're not my mama or my papa.
But I guess that's the point, right? And like so he's not your mama or your papa, right? I agree 100%. But you're also not mine and you're not anyone else's. And I'm not, like, this isn't, please don't take this as any sort of attack. It's not in any way, shape or form. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to say that people should take actions outside of what I've said, then it's like, well, what actions do you want us to take? It's just kind of like the climate change debate, right? We say, well, you need to take action on climate change, for example. It's like, okay, so tell me what you want me to do. Oh, well, you need to change your policies. Okay, what policies do you want us to change? Well, you need to do this. Okay, well, that's completely unrealistic. Oh, but you have to because I said so. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that's not what you're doing, but we also, if we're going to, as content creators, talk on a public forum and have a public conversation and say, guys, look, we actually need to step outside of the content zone and do things in real life. We need to actually say to, well, look, these are some examples of things that you could do. And then people can make their own decisions from there and even do things that are outside of the scope of what we've stated. But we need to give them a benchmark. And I think that as leaders, it's important that we do lead.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I have learned at an earlier age to take accountability for myself and responsibility for myself. And in that, my life is my responsibility. And what I do, the actions I take are my responsibility. I'm not going to tell other men what actions to take. But at the same time, I see things happening. I see society going in a direction that I don't want it to go in. So if I can go out there and say, hey guys, pay attention to this. Take action. Do something in the real world instead of just doing videos. Go make communities. Go do things in real life. For example, myself, I started my production studio. I went out and started a business. I'm creating movies for the Red Pill community. They took away our myths. They took away our stories. And I want to give that back to us. That's what I'm doing. There's other things I do which I don't share, but those are things that I share. Go out and take action to change the shit you don't like.
So for example, creating films around this these concepts in Red Pill and stuff, isn't that a long form version of creating live content?
Isn't a dream a short form version of epic story?
Well, it is if you share that dream as a story.
I guess. What was your point?
So my point is, right? You're saying, well, you're sort of saying, well, what's the point of like what I'm getting from you is you're kind of going, what's the point of videos? You know, you got to do more than videos.
No. Again, I'm not putting down videos. The videos are important. I'm saying there has to be more than just videos.
I agree. So, like for example, me, I'm doing stuff within my life that makes a difference. Whether that's red pilling people, whether that's getting involved in local communities where I'm physically in that area where I can be at those communities. Because the thing is, a lot of the online community, it's so broadly spread that it's very difficult. I had a dinner not too long ago. So there's actually a small community in Sydney that's growing of like-minded guys that's getting together. So that's something that I'm doing. But I'm also making videos to supplement that, to encourage other people to maybe do similar or even different things to what I'm doing that are going to create an even bigger brotherhood, you know? We can only see what we can see through these videos, but we can't see what people are doing in their real life outside of the videos. So I think, if I didn't know anything that you did other than creating videos, then I could arguably put forward the same thing, you know? I get where you're coming from, but I think that the picture is not all out there for the world to see. Like, there's a lot going on that's not being seen, that's not being talked about in the public sphere, but it is being talked about person to person in groups at friends out to dinner, conversations in the street, online conversations. I know one guy that goes out and hands out messages to younger guys, like young men, just with little red pill snippets for them to kind of take on board and digest and go and do their own learning. So I know people all over that have been inspired by what I've done to make differences to other people, and I think this sort of spread and proliferation, that this ripple effect that we're causing is much bigger than any of us realize. That's my thoughts.
So then, could you clarify the 30-year statement? I'm trying to understand that.
Well, I never said that we should wait for 30 years for things to happen. I never said that.
Well, I wouldn't have been the one to bring it up.
What's that?
I would not have been the one to say that. Right? You said it. What do you mean by that?
We don't want to wait for 30 years for all of these ladies to realize that they've been lied to. Because by that time, those people that thought something was the truth for 30 years have lied to more. So we're just allowing this cycle to continue if we don't intervene by way of educating.
Okay.
So we're complicit in the continued degradation of the current state that we're in if we don't say something, if we don't do something, if we don't educate, if we don't share. I think that's fundamentally why content creation in this sort of sphere is so important. What's your thoughts?
Depends on what you call education. Like, for instance, there's a lot of red pill information out there, but there's also a lot of guys that get that information and still end up going back to the plantation. It's not enough to just have information.
You cannot make every single man that you educate on reality avoid relationships. You just can't. We are so hardwired that it takes someone with either that's already been through the ringer, or is scared, and with good reason in most cases, or is scared enough of what might happen to them if they enter into that arrangement. It's just, we can't tell guys not to date because they're still going to bang girls, they're still going to fall in love, they're still going to have kids. But teaching them about female nature, teaching them about how women actually are, teaching them about red flags, teaching them about asset protection, teaching them about how important it is to say no. All of these things are going to make for much better relationships for the people who opt to put themselves in that position of risk. And hopefully, if they do have kids, then those kids are going to grow up a lot better adjusted and maybe with a father in their lives instead of without a father, because they're a weak-ass pussy that wasn't respected by the mother and subsequently got Me Too'd or given false allegations. So, we can minimize the effect on those people by educating them on how they can manage risky situations and manage difficult situations. We're never going to be able to stop people going back to the plantation fully. It's just not human nature.
Looks like you guys are getting one last workout.
Yeah, I'm actually just at the Opera House here in Sydney.
Oh, nice.
About to head down to the car park and pick up my bike.
It's good.
Oh, shit, it's gonna get so noisy in here in a second. Hang on.
All right. Well, we got Orange Tango in here too. He
flexing.
He joined the stream.
He's flexing right now.
Yeah, he's getting ready for the fat chicks.
Yeah.
You know I love me some fat chicks, man. Hey, the more meat, the better. You have more places to get her. Grab her.
Hey, Tango, man. I was asking AJ earlier. Well, you weren't on, but I wanted to ask you: is there anything New Year's Eve that's specific to Puerto Rico? Like, is there a tradition out there that y'all do, or
yeah,
anything special?
It's pretty much the same. We blow shit up when it's fucking 12 a.m. and we hug each other and we go back to our houses. Just like everywhere.
All right,
just like
people get drunk.
Hey, I don't have a beer, man. Drink one for me.
All right, I will.
Nice.
Tango, are you even old enough to buy a beer?
Huh? I'm fucking 22, brother.
All right, just enough.
Hey.
Well, I think that one in the black was a gender studies professor.
Oh, look at that. Look.
What's he doing?
What is he doing?
Gender studies.
Gender studies.
All right, it's not as noisy, but it's still noisy in here. If it does cut out, I do apologize, but I'm going to see if I can take you down and show you my bike.
Oh, no problem.
So, I'm sorry, guys. I actually missed most of what you said in the last couple of minutes. I heard a lot of laughing, which was awesome. But yeah, it was so freaking noisy in there. I couldn't hear shit.
Oh, we're talking about fat chick.
Big shoot?
We were talking about fat chick.
Fat chick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did you guys see that one in the black, the gender studies looking one?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, sad state of affairs, brothers. Sad state of affairs.
Hey, man. Beauty of all flavors.
All right, let's find this bad boy. What about to park that motherfucker?
How'd you get your bike again?
So I parked it for New Year's Eve, and I couldn't get out because they blocked it. They blocked the Opera House car park with a fire truck, so I couldn't get out. How good's this number plate? FML 365. Yeah, the boys.
Here it goes.
Here it goes. Nice work.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, buddy.
Nice.
Must be your pride and joy, brother.
What's that?
It must be your pride and joy.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. 100%. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What happened to the
MGTOW? That was taken. I know who took it too. I've actually met the guy. So I was going to order my plate because I checked the plate up and it was available. And a week later, I went to order it and it was taken.
That sucks.
Yeah, but you know, the guy who got it is a good guy. He's a teacher, but he got fucked over by his ex-wife, poor prick. So, you know, if there's anyone who is living that plate, it's that gentleman.
It's not Miggy 101, is it?
No. So Miggy is Victoria, Queensland based. I am New South Wales. So it was a New South Wales plate that was taken, unfortunately.
I see.
Yeah.
Hey, Sydney, are you going to One Man's MGTOW World Summit down there?
I am actually. I am. I was fortunate enough to be in a position where I've got enough frequent flyer points that I was able to fly down there for free.
That's cool.
Sounds
And
cool.
although there is a cost to the summit, obviously, because we've got to have an event space and other logistics. One of the guys has been kind enough to offer up a room in his house. So honestly, at the moment, I would not have been able to go if it wasn't for the gratis accommodation. So I'm incredibly grateful to that gentleman for the opportunity. But I will make sure that I chip in and take my fair share with food and booze and whatnot.
I have not been out to any of Running Man summits, but that is definitely on my list.
This will be my first. So should be good.
Right on.
I'm gonna have to bounce in a second, guys. Unfortunately, just because it's freaking hot and I need to get home, and I've got about 6% battery left. Soon to be 5.
Damn,
struggle is real.
What's that?
That's risk.
Struggle is real.
Yeah, man, 100% real. But look, first world problems, right? First world freaking problems.
Real quick, Sydney, before you go, man.
Talk to me.
I appreciate you hitting me up with your opinion here on what I'm doing in my message. One thing, though, I would like to ask of you. And I've asked you before. My movie will be coming out Halloween 2020. I was hoping I could count on you to help me advertise.
Yeah, I'm more than happy, man. Anything we can get out there to help guys, understand what's going on and understand how to live their best life. In lieu of that, I'm 100% down for.
Sweet.
So, anyway, guys, look, appreciate you all. I got to hit the road. I'm down to 5% now, so I'm going to bounce. But look, man, thank you guys for the invite. It's so good to see you all on New Year's Eve. I don't know if it's past midnight yet. Whatever the case, it's irrelevant. I appreciate you all regardless, and I will catch you soon.
All right, man. Take care, man. You're always welcome.
Brother.
All right, bye.
Take care. Yeah. All righty.
Now our ears have to readjust to not having all that background noise.
Yeah.
We can finally hear each other.
Yep, we can.
Excuse me. But yeah. So I guess I mean the floor is pretty much open if anybody has anything, or I can get into some of the pre-typed up.
Question time.
If you have something like in a list of questions, feel free to throw some out there. Get our juices flowing. Get us wet.
Yeah, I do. Some of them you guys have already answered, in the conversation that, because like, I think you already kind of addressed one of them I had was and I apologize if you didn't get this one out because I think I sent this to you through Discord. But one of them was the kind of what the future of MGTOW is, and we kind of got into that.
Yeah.
How about does anyone have any predictions for 2020 since we're on the New Year's theme?
Prediction.
It don't have to be MGTOW related, but it could be just in general. I mean, I don't. Just do not take this the wrong way. I'm not endorsing Trump, but I think he's going to win re-election, personally. But I'm not trying to turn this into a political stream. I'm just saying. That's just a.
Yeah, I don't know. My fear is that someone like Biden will get in because he is super about feminism and really just like never hitting a woman no matter what she does to you and all that kind of stuff. Like more than some other people. I know Paul Elam and some others have talked about that, where it's just like he is super feminist, like even like with his personal behaviors and stuff like that. So
what's weird with him though is he's got those videos, like all that video shit where he's like fondling these women and stuff. Maybe it's just a bad camera angle, but he's got like some PR nightmare type shit. But he may be the biggest cuck in the world. I don't know, But
who's this person? Old McDonald's.
But yeah, Dan, I did cut you off there. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, have you seen that stuff where he's like being accused of sexual harassment and shit like that? Or
for Biden, you mean?
Yeah, Biden.
What's up?
I think.
Oh my God, farmer. Yeah, yo.
I started a naming convention. Yes.
Because the media is so leftist, I think that they won't go after Biden very much, to be honest with you. You see that even now, like with his son being on some board of directors for some sort of Ukrainian energy company, which is what Trump wanted investigated to begin with. They just put that to the side, and then they act as if Trump has done something horribly, unspeakably wrong by asking to have him investigated, which maybe that is corrupt.
So I have a prediction.
You can see the difference in terms of how Biden versus Trump is being treated.
Yeah, that is suspicious and interesting.
So my prediction is that the brothers in MGTOW are going to be doing in 2020 not just what they did in 2019, but more. I think that there's going to be a lot coming, which would have been surprising to us last year.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, just my communications on the different Discord servers and talking with them and talking with you guys on this stream, talking with Sydney tonight, even if, not all the ideas are agreed upon, at the very least, there's a consensus among a bunch of men out there that shit needs to change, and at the very least, they're willing to do something about it. And last year, at this time, or I guess fucking 2018, that would have been a lot harder to say and recognize. So 2020, I think there's a lot of good shit coming. I think that if we stay the course, we're gonna have a much stronger year in 2020.
True.
Yeah, well, and when in doubt, to your point, I think, again, maybe this stuff is lost in, translation or maybe explaining ourselves or myself correctly, but I think that part of it is, we got to have the awareness first, and that's one of the biggest parts. and that the awareness is definitely growing. So
True.
As far as the action and what happens after that, that's going to be that's still up for debate or
remains to be seen.
Yeah. Thank you. Remains to be seen. So.
I know, and like that's kind of like the reason I herald it, though, is because action is necessary, regardless of how many or who's doing what. We got to be doing. We got to be willing to do. Otherwise, we're gonna let the actors on the other side take advantage of our inactivity.
But Orange Tango, you got any predictions for 2020? You planning on getting a bunch of chicks pregnant, or what do you got?
Blard?
I'm gonna be the
How the
biggest.
fuck are you gonna open a question like that?
What kind of question is that?
I'm gonna marry all these single mothers, man. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a real gentleman with them. Give them 20 babies and fucking get them child support, man. That's what a real man does.
Don't forget to marry them and then get divorced after a year.
Exactly. So I get divorced rate. That's what I'm gonna do, brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick 10 lucky ladies to give kids, marry them, and divorce them, so that all of them can be getting some sort of benefit from me.
Exactly. You think you're a smart man, bro. You're already learning, man.
God, just saying that hurt my soul a little bit.
Let's see. One thing.
It'd be an enjoyable 10 nights though, because at least you didn't have to bang the same chick 10 nights in a row.
But each of them gave you a different STD.
Just think this way out. You gave each one of those 10 the STD that causes 9 months of swelling.
I mean, technically that's not true. Instead, I gave them the essence of my life, so it's a gift that is on loan.
It's not all about you. Come on now.
My life
it's like Orange. It's like pulling the shake weight out with Orange there. He had to get his dumbbells out, and I was like, pull out the shake weight. Come on. I know it's there.
I was trying to do a Rev, because Rev was fucking with his dumbbell before. I was trying to fuck with him.
Yeah, and he comes on and totally shows you up, too. He's like, ooh, you got 5-pound weights. Look at my 40s.
Hey, that shake weight helps me out, man. Makes the fast work.
I'm gonna grab a shoe and fucking do
wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm no fap, so never mind. Forget about that.
Fuck, man. Recently, I was considering going monk, and then I had an offer I couldn't refuse.
I don't.
All right.
I'm not hating, man. I don't. If people are monk, that's great. And there's some of these content producers that are really that get higher on their fucking horse about being monk, in my opinion. But hey, there's nothing in the original MGTOW philosophy that talks about you got to be monk. That's cool if you are.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I mean,
no, yeah, I wasn't like I'm not considering it out of status, just necessity.
What's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike's in here. Hey, what up, man? I'll send Mike in.
Somebody leave so Mike can join it. Lee's an interesting person. Go ahead and leave.
I like your content. You went in on Bulldog Mindset. I was happy because because he's been going in the MGTOW search result. He's the top one in the MGTOW search result. So I'm glad you call him out. I'm tired of that guy in the search result.
Yeah. He's pulling some bullshit if he's the number one fucking MGTOW search result.
I'm going to teach you how to be a man. I'm going to teach you how to be a man. Sign this course.
So, yeah, I got my next video coming out. I have him and a bunch of others like him that are like hopping on the MGTOW bandwagon, but also then corrupting the message. I got a video coming out about a bunch of them. But it's hilarious because a lot of what he says there's truth behind it, but then he flips it, and it's just like, what the fuck? Why? I mean, most of his content is about submitting to female authority.
Does he walk in a river? The river of denial.
Well, I mean, you have to look at it because he has ugly pictures, right? And then he built himself up to be very attractive and healthy and wealthy and all that shit.
Yeah.
So after that much work, he kind of has to advertise that path.
Well, I'm gonna check out, guys, because I saw Mike was in the chat, and if Rev was gonna send him an invite, I'm gonna hop out for a bit. I'll come back in later.
Sure.
See you,
All right, man.
Hey, Mike's gonna join. I'm gonna fucking make fun of that fact.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a challenge?
I just fuck with him, man. I love fucking with him, man. Mike, it's your bootleg fucking lumberjack ass in here, man.
Yeah,
it's not Target.
Mike, if you're listening, I sent it to your MGTOW for Change Gmail. So that's the one you've that your public email. Well, your MGTOW public email.
Happy New Year, Logic Wins.
I guess with what could possibly happen in 2020, one question that I have is, how political is YouTube going to get during the election cycle?
Are they really political?
And
I'm already getting asked for.
Shit.
Are they going to purge a bunch of channels, or how far are they going to be willing to go to kind of express their interests?
And that combined with this COPA shit, I mean, is this
right?
I don't know. Well, what do you? I mean, does anybody? I don't know. I mean, I haven't changed anything as far as the COPA stuff goes. I did notice Hammerhand started putting a disclaimer in front of his videos about it's not for children and shit like that. I might do something like that, but I do think politically though, these motherfuckers are going to be are fucking crazy, and it's fucked up. These people they're against major parts of our Constitution: freedom of speech, gun rights. It's a incredible problem, and I do see the importance of action. I just don't know. I don't know. I got to figure it out for my own what I'm going to do. But
if anything happened to my channel, I'm on MGTOW.tv. So, and I'm on BitChute. So you'll find me there.
Yeah. BitChute's probably a good idea at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and like MGTOW Farmer put down, and I brought this up on another stream and other videos, but this COPA shit doesn't just apply to YouTube. It applies to the entire fucking internet. So I don't understand how can sites like Pornhub or other sites get away with is it because they got that thing where you got to click your 18? Is that how they get past it, or what? Why is YouTube the fucking?
They got connection.
Yes, that's exactly how.
Yep.
Okay.
What's up, Sayon? What's up?
Here's my problem though with that is who gets to determine what's appropriate for children?
Good question. And I watch many content producers. Why aren't parents doing their fucking job and regulating what their children are watching? Why is it my job to teach myself?
The question is in the answer. It's not because it's not good for children, but it's a way to censor other people and claim it's for the children.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Alrighty.
Because then if you have right-wing views or anything that strays from the left, you're not appropriate for children.
Just hit midnight on the East Coast or in Eastern time. It's 2020 now, in other words.
All right. Hey, Happy New Year, Dan.
Happy New Year. Get to wait another hour.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Actually, I just got back in because the COPA topic came up, and I have to kind of chuckle about that one because, like, when you get to an 18-year-old site, if you go there enough, hey, Rev's drinking that boy. I had a couple beers already. I'm good. But we all have IP addresses that typically can be tracked to your email and tracked to your name.
Exactly.
So at what point did obviously they've already been trying in Europe to in England, I think, arrest troll posters on the internet because they could track the computer to a location, and they've been trying to push that you have to have a credit card to be able to use porn sites, so then they can track you to a credit card and know who's watching porn. Now, why is that important? I would like to know, but they want to know who we are, where we are, what we're doing. I mean, it's kind of an all-around government control effort, and it's not about the children, because every Nazi, socialist, murderous government has always used the children as the excuse. You know, save the children, kill half the population.
Won't somebody think about the children?
The children! We have porn sites out that children are looking at. We have to take your computers away. And they found, and there's been other MGTOW guys talked about it over and over again, when you allow like sex doll brothels and porn, there's less violence because the non-nofap guys can take care of themselves. But you know, it's there's a lot more things going on right now that are all distractions from the encroachments on our rights, and frankly, we don't have any rights anymore. So it's really not surprising. And when in doubt keeps asking, at what point do you do something and what do you do? You know, we can't talk about this here because what needs to be done can't be talked about. And I'm pretty sure y'all know that too. I mean, I'll be going down in Arkansas to get some training from Rev here eventually about how we need to walk a straight line when we're blowing a .20 BAC. You know, that kind of stuff. We got to get some good training, you know. But I mean, there's just too much going on. I follow a lot of the conspiracy channels and such. So for me, it's kind of like I kind of keep up with that now. Some of it's true, some of it's not. But with enough of what's going on, the most recent false flag in Texas, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about feminism being that important all that much longer, because it was used just to weaken us men. And then the next couple events are to strip us of our abilities to be men, and then they come after us later. So it's really not a big deal. It's just, what are you preparing for?
Well, and I think the biggest distraction of all right now is Trump. Trump himself and the impeachment is the biggest distraction.
Yeah, I can see you.
Politically speaking?
What?
Well,
and the political class is not going to go to jail. They never go to jail. So I don't know what anybody's wasting their time.
Well, yeah.
And celebrate men's achievement in a single day, son. I'm reading When in Doubt's meme.
How come you guys don't have beards? What are you guys down with the Gillette or what? Or is it just me that needs a beard?
Nah. Fuck Gillette.
It's actually funny that you bring that up. I have a Gillette parody that's going to be coming out soon.
I'd like to see that. I mean, because I got to do my Hammerhand impersonation. I just find it hilarious when it's like,
hey, get the comb out, man. Get the comb out.
The comb, the brush. Man, Hammerhand brush.
The pink one.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I mean, every time I love it. It's hilarious. Now, if I really wanted to do it right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every time he pauses one of his videos, I know there's like a 90% chance that he's just going to check the video, but there's like a 10% chance that he's going to whip out the comb and start doing that. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Keeps you on your toes.
And at least with me, there's 100% you're going to see the dogs. Oh, what did I do? Did I screw that up? Yeah.
Good doggy. Good doggy.
Somehow you look frozen now, Farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit a side button.
His screen froze.
There, it came back.
I guess. Well, what are? Yeah, there you go.
Mike come back. All right. Yeah, if Mike came back.
Yeah, you're back.
I don't know. Let me know if he gets back in the chat.
This live stream is gonna get
with the six of us.
Yeah,
I
where
can't
Mike
figure out
at?
if Orange has got some. Is that a set of boxers on your face, Orange, or are you just happy to see us?
Oh, this is the mask. It's a baklava, whatever the fuck you call it.
If
Baklava.
if Mike comes back, I'll kick myself out if Mike comes back and let him in.
Was he trying to get in?
No, I don't see him. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
He was eating supper for a while, so
He's
I was
fucking
like,
probably fucking 420 blazing it.
Damn.
Creeping ball.
Yeah, I guess to keep it light a little bit, Danny, does anybody have any like a related favorite or worst, like favorite or bad holiday memory that they're interested in sharing? Like me personally, it's not like a regular memory, but I always enjoyed when I was younger getting together with my family and going to my grandma's house on Christmas Eve. That was always pretty fun. But I was a kid back then and back in the 80s and getting fucking Star Wars and AT-AT fucking toys and shit like that.
I can share my most traumatic holiday.
Sure.
I think I was 7, and I got this really fucking awesome RC motorcycle for my birthday. And I was like, dude, this is awesome. This is so awesome. And I was like, such anticipation was building. I was getting so excited. And my older sister was like, I'm going to play with it first because I'm older. And my mom let her. And she broke it before I ever got the chance to play with it. And I was just pissed off for like a week.
Did they replace it, or was
Nope,
it?
I was just shit out of luck.
Work.
Yep.
That's when you first learn that women can't drive, right?
Yeah, and to not let a bitch touch my shit.
Yep, it's been known. They can't drive. It's been known.
I learned that day, don't let a bitch touch your shit. No one's gonna care about your shit like you care about your shit.
True. Regardless, yeah. Nobody will take care of it like yourself.
Yeah.
Right.
The girls first mentality. Yep.
Anybody else? Am I the only one?
Well, since you actually dropped a real story, I figured I better not talk about walking in on Santa with his pants down, but Did you know
I caught Santa Claus with my mother once. I don't know how to explain that one.
Wait, you said you walked in on Santa boning your mom?
Yeah, I don't know what the explanation to that.
Who dressed up as
Santa
that
year?
Some
free presents though.
You got a good present.
Yeah, I got a PlayStation.
Brother.
It's kind of Santa that delivers packages, eh?
Oh.
So, Santa got more than cookies and milk that year.
And your mom got all the cream.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I kind of had a screwed up childhood. After about the age of 7, we quit getting gifts. So we used to go and do like an exchange. So each kid had you get like $20 at the local store because there was 5 of us and we all drew names, and that's what you could spend because our family was like poor. So, it was kind of like that's all we did.
Could you say that again?
Oh, my Christmases?
Yeah.
Yeah, if 7 years old, that was like, I think it was 5 or 6 when the last time we actually got presents. After that, we ended up, because we farmed and farming was shit. And we never had a lot of money for gifts. So basically, as kids, we drew names, and we would go, and you had like a $15 to $20 limit to buy a gift for whoever you drew names for. So everybody got gifts, but you realized probably by the time I was 10, Christmas and holidays didn't mean much because you just basically got together and we had meals as a family, but there wasn't anything really for gifts. I mean, what is it, 10, 15 years of socks and underwear later, you actually realize that, getting a nice pair of socks is a really good gift.
The struggle is real.
You grow up absolutely hating it. And then when you actually get older, you're like, oh my God, somebody got me nice socks. And they're warm. This is amazing. And you're like, as a kid, you're like, F this shit, I'm out. Somebody got me socks again. Now I'm like, don't buy me any t-shirts because I got more t-shirts than I know to do with. But I will take that 6-pack of nice socks. Thank you very much.
Those fucking $20 Snap-on socks or Red Wing. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm sure you could probably get a Red Man group, but it would be a thong, not a pair of anything else, because that's all them guys wear.
A Red Man group thong? What?
What?
Rev got it. I don't know if anybody got it.
Where would they even put the branding on a thong?
Well, that's all those guys would wear.
All right.
I mean, they got to cover their vaginas. I mean, give them a break.
Oh, shit. Oh. All right, well, here, I got a slightly more serious question for the panel, if anybody is willing to answer it or interested.
Yeah, go for
ahead.
it.
I'll keep ignoring
you.
Does anyone on the panel see themselves continue? Do you see yourself continuing the MGTOW lifestyle and/or philosophy, however you view it, indefinitely, or do you think this is something that's a part of your life now, and that further on down the line, you'll move on from that? But keep the knowledge.
Me, I'm keeping going with the lifestyle. Especially I live in the Western culture right now. I'm keeping it going long as possible.
Yeah.
I'm protecting my wallet, and I'm allergic to marriage. So hell no.
For me, it's not really a choice. I was this way before MGTOW. MGTOW really just gave me the community.
Same.
So would I reconsider my stance of strength and fulfilling my life's bounty? No.
Okay, we got Mike coming.
Would I ever drop out of the public eye? Maybe. Depends on what happens. Would I ever give up on my brothers and hope better for men? Hell to the no.
What up, Rocker?
I think the things that would need to change are so unrealistic. Like, you would have to get rid of no-fault divorce. You would have to get rid of the Duluth model. You'd have to do so many things just from the legal and political, or not political, but more cultural aspect of all of it, that it's just like, yeah, it's indefinite, because those things, they're not going to get rid of no-fault divorce. They're not going to get rid of the Duluth model. Even the so-called, anti-feminist women, they don't even really support getting rid of those things. It's just, we live in a post-feminist society, and the most rational choice for a man is to go MGTOW. Like, that's not going to get better over time, I don't think. So realistically, yeah, it's pretty indefinite, I think.
God damn this secondhand smoke. What the fuck, you guys?
Hey, Mike, welcome to the stream, Mike.
We're fixing our shit. We're all sitting here just doing this for like 2 minutes straight while y'all are talking serious shit. We're just like, let's get this fucking game.
How's it going, Mike? Happy New Year, man.
I'm going good.
The question about
what's going on, faggot?
I got that legal oil on deck right here, dude. This shit is fucking spicy. I got that purple.
Hey, Mike, I'm in the next level. I'm smoking pencils, man. Get with the time, faggot.
Look at his ass over there. Hey, Orange Pingo. You can't drink Tang, right? You gotta drink real orange juice. You gotta know that.
Yeah, you know that, man. Sometimes I drink a little water, get hydrated too. See?
All right, guys. So, hey, we need to come up with some. We got to come up with some fuckery to pull before they try to take all our channels down. What do you guys want to do before they take our channels? We gotta make a statement.
Oh man,
we gotta be like the 300. The 300 knew they were outnumbered, but they fought a good fight before they were destroyed.
You got the guy
so that's
here,
what
man.
we gotta do.
When in doubt. When in doubt.
That's right, dude. I got all kinds of videos planned. I just gotta have the time to do them. I got so much work on my plate right now, but I got some awesome videos. I'm sure I'll start getting strikes on them and be gone from YouTube shortly.
Yeah. I honestly came up with a theory the other day because I've done so much shit that's against terms, and I'm still there. And so many guys got deleted for doing far less. And so I sat there and thought to myself, like, and you guys, like, I'm not paranoid, I'm not schizophrenic, but think about this for a second. I've done shit that violates almost all of the terms, and yet I'm still here. And it's got people putting tinfoil hats going, oh, Mike must be a psyop. Oh, Mike must be no. What it is if you look, we are considered, MGTOW is considered a hate group, even though we're not. We just tell the facts, right? We're considered a hate group, so we're on the FBI watch list. If you look it up, it's actually true. We're on an FBI watch list, and so my theory is that they haven't taken me down at the moment, just for right now, because they're watching us and what we're doing. So,
well, you can also enforce the stereotype too, Mike.
I mean, it's a theory, but you know,
it's possible. But it's just like the whole thing is arbitrary. Like they don't really take you down most of the time, unless it's just really someone finds someone really violating the terms. It's just they do it when they feel like it, and then they use those terms as a way to justify what they want to do. I mean, when you say it that way, it makes sense.
They should take Undead Chronic down just because. Like literally just because no strikes and just because, and they've done that to so many others, and I feel like we're on that chopping block because they know that in this next election, there's nobody that's gonna root and be their cheerleaders for the left more than the feminists. They're gonna push their feminist shit every election they do it. They're like the biggest cheerleaders for the left, and they know. And look, whether or not you like Trump, whether you think he's a puppet or not, it doesn't matter. This is what's happening. They know that Trump won because of social media. And so now they're trying to silence anybody that's not far left or progressive. So if you're against feminism, you're considered anti-progressive. They don't want our content to be out there during the 2020 elections. And that's why they're censoring us hardcore right now. It's all strategy. It's a political strategy, and it's fucked up. But that's why they're doing it.
It's kind of like this. When a man tries to get an idea out there and he presents it logically to where no one can refute the logic and they have to meet it, that is called manipulation. But when women do it or the left do it, it's presenting the facts.
Well, I think
and
actually
honestly, it's like Ben Shapiro said, facts don't care about their feelings, and all they care about is their feelings. Anybody that we have to debate, anybody that's on our opposition, they're all in their feelings. And we're just those motherfuckers. We're like, we only care about facts and truth. We don't care. We have to, on this MGTOW journey, everybody has to set their own emotions to the side, because on the way, you're going, fuck my emotions, because we were blue pilled before we're red pilled. We got to set our own emotions to the side, and that emotional logic that they brainwash us to follow. And we have to set it to the side and go, fuck that. I want truth, right? But all these other fucking people, they don't want that. They're like, no, I don't want to set my belief systems to the side. Just go away, red pillars. We don't want to hear that shit. And it's like, so they don't get suppressed. We get suppressed. They want to try to prop up their political pawns and their puppets that just perpetuate this gynocentric system. And they want us to die out. But I'm here to tell you right now, I'm not going anywhere. They can delete my channel. I got other backup channels. I trust me, I'm sneaky as fuck. I got backup channels that you guys don't even know are mine. Some of you guys are subscribed to my backup channel, and you don't even know that it's my backup channel because I'm sneaky. I'm serious. I ain't gonna let them take me out.
You're a true rebel, Mike. You're a true rebel, Mike.
I'm drunk.
That'd be pretty good sense for someone that's drunk.
Well, and in regards to that, we on one of the Christmas stream that we did with AJ and When in Doubt was on there also, and Farmer. We talked about decentralized platforms, or maybe that was on When in Doubt streams. Again, I get fucking drunk too much, but too. But at the same time, decentralized. I mean, if we go to another platform, can that just get taken down too? I mean, what's the real answer? You know,
Yes.
This is my thing. Look, if it works, if they're successful at running us off, other platforms are going to follow in suit. If we make it impossible for them to be successful, if we just make it like, I'm serious, don't worry about how many views you get. Don't worry about how many subs you get. Create backup channels and just keep doing it until they leave us the fuck alone. That's my fucking plan of action. I don't want to say, like, look, we should go to these other platforms. 100%. It's smart. Do it. I'm not saying don't do it, but what I'm saying is, it's in a battle. If you're on a piece of land and you're battling some other country that's trying to invade, and they take over and you just leave, well, you lost. You don't get that land back. So we need to fight for this cyber, the internet, basically, this freedom of speech, because that's what propagates most people's ideas and their opinions. And it's important for MGTOW to be included.
I got a question for you, Mike.
And so we can't just give this up. If they take our channels down, create more, do not stop. And more people need to start creating channels. We need to overwhelm them, keep these cunts busy. Don't fucking fight. I mean, don't give up the fight. We should go to other platforms, but just my last thing is just don't give up the fight. Seriously.
I got a question for you, Mike. Yep. When you're over here saying, don't give up the fight, you got to keep fighting for the land, right? And the land in this sense is the internet, really, and our rights in this space. When guys tell you, okay, well, how should I be fighting? What would you say?
It's not a fight. I just hit this pin. Give me
oh damn.
Dang, that shit's fun. All
right. So this isn't a battle that, where you pick up swords or weapons. And, I definitely shy away from people that talk about violence. Hockey. Oh, it's hockey mask time. Like I'm not with that shit yet. If the society collapses and there's no government, no military, no police force, yeah, then it's hockey mask time. But if that doesn't happen, then I'm not down for that. That type of talk. But basically, staying in the fight, this is all it takes. Number one, you got to be stubborn. Number two, you got to not care about the outcome. And number three, you got to be bold. And you got to, and also number four, you got to be creative. If you do those four things, you stay in the fight, you keep holding the line, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because let's say they take my channel down today. Yeah, I got 9,000 subs, but they're not letting those 9,000 fucking subs look at my, they're not getting those notifications. So with me staying in the fight right now is just continuing to produce. If people know that I'm here, they're going to continue to come check on my channel manually, and they're going to see my new content. And that's staying in the fight.
Exactly. I agree with you 100% on that.
Just don't tap out. That's all I'm saying. Like, they might have you in an arm bar and you feel like your shoulder's going to get dislocated. Fucking stay in the fight. Let them break that shoulder out, and you're still in for the next round. Fuck that. Take the fucking blows and come up with backup plans, because we already know what they're going to do. And that gives us an edge up. All we have to do is accept the fact that they're going to do this year, but we fight all year long. This political campaign season will end. It will end. And along with it will, they're going to stop. They're going to be like, they're not going to stop fully, but they're going to slow it down. And if there's thousands or maybe at least hundreds of MGTOW channels, how can they get us all?
I have a question for you guys when people are done with this one.
Go ahead.
Basically, which do you think is the biggest reason for YouTube demonetizing and taking channels down? Do you think it's actually about the corporate sponsors and the money aspect of it, or is it just purely political? Because I think you have to answer that question first before you ask whether BitChute channels will be taken down in the future. Because if it's all just YouTube's political leanings, then
everything that's happening in business right now, it's trends. Everything in business, because I was in marketing for years. I used to make six figures. Okay. And basically, technology ruined my niche in marketing. But I'm still good at certain types of marketing. But long story short is I've noticed a trend while I was in. And Sandman he called it out a long time ago. When a company is failing, they put in a lot of women, right? So a lot of these companies are failing. A lot of people are doing online orders, yada yada yada, buying cheaper brands, and so brands don't even matter anymore. So a lot of these corporations, they're going through like a swing right now. And basically, what's happening is, and also with political correctness and with this, third and fourth and fifth wave. I mean, it's all coming. It's all coming back to back. They are hiring more women in corporate positions than I've ever seen or ever even heard of in the history of business. Because when I first got in, it was all men. Towards the end, when I got out, it was a lot of women. I mean, a lot. So even with Procter and Gamble, which is the company that owns Gillette, that put out the feminist commercial, and then you got Converse shoes, the basketball brand for shoes that's been basketball shoes for like 50 fucking years. Converse came out with an anti-male commercial. All these companies, it's because they keep hiring women and they want their bullshit feminist agenda included into the narrative. And so, and these are the advertisers. These big companies like Procter & Gamble, they own the advertising market. That's why when you log into your app on your YouTube app on your phone and you see an advertisement video right at the very fucking top, and what is it? It's Old Spice. You know who else owns Old Spice? It's fucking Procter & Gamble, the company that owns Gillette, the same company that put out that anti-male ad. So all these fucking big companies like Procter & Gamble that you never even hear of, they're the ones behind the mask. They're the ones that own all of the ad revenue. They're the feminist companies telling YouTube what to do. And then the 5,000 Google employees that work for YouTube censor controversial content, and they take us down. And when you look at what controversial content is, it's simply, when you look at the word controversial, it means in the dictionary, and this is how you know I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Look up the dictionary. I'm not even looking at one. It says to give rise, if you give rise to public disagreement, that's what a controversy is, to give rise to public disagreement. And the red pill and MGTOW, we give rise to public disagreement. So they're going to get rid of us. But if we stay on point and we don't give a fuck and we keep recreating and recreating and recreating, they're going to get tired. They have to get tired eventually and find a new target, because we're not going to fucking give up. And I don't want to see you guys fall off the map when they take you down. I'll be disappointed, dude. Maybe wait a week or two and then come back. If they take you out, I will forgive that. But if a month or two goes by, come on, man. Even whenever I couldn't produce content, I let you guys know I was alive. You know what I mean? I want to know that you guys are going to stay in the fight. That's all I want to know.
I've got all my videos saved to different drives and stuff, so that wouldn't be too big of a problem for me to re-upload things if that would happen. My channel's probably too small to get hit like that right now, though, to be honest.
There's no channel too small. They're shadow banning you.
There was a channel called Edgar Watches.
Shadow ban, yeah.
Edgar Watches had a small channel, and it was just a channel for a company that gave out watches. When Gillette gave out their bullshit video, the Edgar Watches channel put out an anti-feminist commercial. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Edgar Watches, and they put out this video, and it was their first video. They got 60,000 views. Well, fucking YouTube didn't like it, but I mirrored the video in advance. It's one of my most viewed videos. I fucking mirrored it because I had a feeling. I was like, man, this is your first video, and you got 60,000 fucking views. Man, I gotta mirror this.
Yeah,
I was like, even in that video, I'm like, hey, go to the description. You'll see the link to the original video. When you click on that link, it doesn't exist. YouTube did take it out.
Damn.
And it's like I was a prophet almost, because I said, hey, I'm mirroring this because I think YouTube's going to take it out. It's their first video. Nobody knows who the fuck these people is. They took them out. So don't think that, like, when you're a new content producer, that you might not put out a video one day that gets 20,000, 50,000 views. When Edgar Watches got to 60,000 views, YouTube went bam with the axe. And I got 100,000 views with that. I don't know how I'm getting away with it. I honestly wonder sometimes. So I'm like, fuck.
Probably because they're easy to watch, and the people associated to you become listable.
Yep. And they thought, oh, it's a small channel. They only got like even though they had 60,000 views, they only had like maybe 800 subs, maybe 1,000 subs. And you just said, oh, nobody knows. nobody will remember these people tomorrow. And they took their, that video down. And thank God I mirrored it, because that's the only reason why it exists. Other people mirrored my mirror of it, and it's still out there now. Thank fucking God.
It's absolute censorship, and the censor it's completely fucked up, the censorship, and regardless of what everyone on this panel is talking about is the fucking truth. But even if we weren't, let's just say we're making all this shit up. It, in theory, should still be protected by the First Amendment. But I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Well, and of course, the dividing line is like,
how many guys? Was any of you guys in the military, real quick? Was it Reverend 20P? You look like you're ex-military, actually.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Say your own tools are military. Say your own.
When you're at MEPS, they make you sign in, and you take your oath right after you clear MEPS, and you swear to protect that Constitution, foreign and domestic. Well, as a MGTOW, even though we're not fighting in theater, we're not in battle, we're not in combat, we are still fighting domestic terrorists, because for them to not let us say what we want, for me to have to wear this now after my life been ruined twice, just for telling the fucking truth, just for saying my opinion. We are fighting for free speech, even though we as MGTOW, we say we're not here to fight the system. Just the fact that we have to fight to get our opinions out, we have to jump from platform and and we're getting pushed down. Dude, we are in a fight right now, whether we want to admit it, and we know we have no choice, even though it's in our philosophy that we don't want to fight. We're not in the fight. We kind of are, but we have no choice, and we know it's important at least to fight to get our voice out. That's all we're doing. We're not going to go out there and riot or anything stupid or risk our lives or our safety. We're not going to break any laws. But at the same time, we are in a fight right now. And we are fighting those domestic and I call them domestic terrorists. When you're telling me I can't say what I want and I've been deployed, you are a fucking terrorist in my opinion. So that's just my last little soapbox.
I get it. When you and I, like anybody on the panel or in the comments who is fucking deployed and fucking been shelled or fucking shot at or fucking dealt with bullshit, fucking it, and then to be come back and then watch our fellow citizens get their fucking rights trampled on. It's a problem. So yeah, I 100% agree with you, Mike, on that.
And they're lucky that I did have a minor brain or traumatic brain injury or whatever, and that's why I sometimes will stutter in a fucking video or get like go in one direction and then like pause and then go to another one. I literally have to really be focused to make a video, because I fell from a second-story balcony, hit my head really fucking hard. I was a vegetable for like 6 months. I don't talk about this a lot, but I'm letting you guys know I was not right for a couple of years. This is back in 2009. I was just a young man. I was 19. I wasn't right in the head for at least a couple of years. And when you watch, that video, The Disposable Male, and you start thinking about your service, it really fucks with you a little bit. The fact that I was able to go from a vegetable, though, to what I am today, it's a blessing. I've got a fucking purpose, and so does MGTOW. MGTOW gave me a purpose. And so for them to try to take that away from me, they're lucky. They are so fucking lucky that I didn't lose a few more brain cells, because I would have showed up at fucking YouTube. And I'm telling you this right now because I would, I won't ever do anything crazy. I'll never do the hockey mask shit. I'll never be that guy that's on the TV doing crazy shit. They can watch me all they want to. I will never do anything like that. And I disenfranchise myself from people that do things like that. But at the same time, they are lucky, dude, because I fought for free speech. So did you. And we swore an oath, and they are damn lucky that they have this system by the balls enough to where we can't do anything about it. Because if I thought I could do it and get away with it, I would. I would literally burn that place to the ground. I'm not the type to do it now. Like, you can listen to me now. And I don't support anybody that would. But if we didn't have this fucking grip on our balls, I would fucking be over there right now. But, we live in 2019.
All right.
Cameras everywhere. There's no way to do
I guess
anything.
I'm going to have to go ahead and dismiss myself, guys. It was a pleasure talking with you. But it appears that I am not copacetic to the environment here. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.
All right, man. Take care.
I'm sorry about freaking, but what I was saying is, I don't support that type of shit, but they're lucky because, like, they're in America, we shouldn't be living in an environment where we have all of these fucking assholes saying, "Oh, you can't talk, you can't express free speech, you don't really have these rights." And to vets that are out there listening, I mean, literally, tell me how you feel that you fought, in these wars that our government set out for us to fight, and they tell you, "Oh, you're just fighting for freedoms, you're doing this, you're doing that, for freedom of speech, and you're helping these other countries." Meanwhile, you come back 20 years later, these countries ain't doing any better, and you remember all your battle buddies that fucking died, and they want to sit there and tell us that we don't have freedom of speech, we can't say what we think. Dude, they are so fucking lucky that we have a level mind. Like literally. And that's why I preach it. That's why I'm always preaching for people to have a level mind, because if we don't, somebody will snap. And that's why I say every day, preach the peaceful way of spreading this message. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? They want one of us to snap, and they make it easy for us to snap, but don't fucking give in. Don't do it. Obviously, don't do it. But I think it just irks me because there's vets like me out there that fucking know what the price of freedom is, and they're pissing on it like they're laughing, pissing all over the sacrifice.
But
take it.
I hear what you're saying, but I think the majority, at least in my experience, the majority of veteran Iraq and Afghanistan veterans are actually way more level-headed than most people realize. And are dealing with it. I mean, we're not saying that we're not dealing with no fucking problems, but we don't have that Vietnam stereotype, where it's like everybody's like, gonna shoot the fucking place up. But
but the part about the Vietnam stereotype is those men went years in Vietnam, fought their term, came back, and were spit on in this country.
That's a big difference too. Yeah, you're correct.
I mean, this last two couple wars you spoke of, even the first Iraq, there was a little more support for it in this country, and they didn't come back to the citizenship being complete piles of garbage to them. As bad. It's still not good, but not as bad.
Yeah. I mean, either way, the soldiers who fight, I mean, that they're fighting the policy and the wars of the fucking people who make the policy, But it is, I don't know. That's the whole. I don't mind getting into the discussion, but it's it's something else. But relevant to the discussion though, Mike. I did want to ask you though, as far as like from a veteran's point of view, do you view your service differently after taking the red pill and or discussing like MGTOW content? Because I definitely do myself. And what I mean by that,
like that video called "The Disposable Male" by Spetsnaz. When I saw that, like, look, I'm a guy that doesn't break into tears when I get, if I feel an emotion, even if it's strong, you wouldn't be able to see it. You would think that I was just, stoic and shit. But when I saw that fucking video, it broke me down because it made me think about my deployment. It made me think about, signing in that red pin that they make you sign in MEPS. It made me think about my battle buddies that, I'm sitting there shooting the shit with them, and the next 5 minutes they're fucking dead, like gone forever and shit. And it really makes you think. It really makes you think, like, man, I was so ready to be disposable. I literally was trained from birth, and it was programming from birth to freely give my life down for a country that does not care about me or my gender. It just doesn't care. Does not care. If I was sitting in a cardboard box behind Big Lots or something right now, and in the morning I'm sitting there panhandling for fucking money, nobody would give a fuck. They'd be like, oh, look at that drug addict over there. You know what I mean? Even if that's not the truth.
Yeah.
I could have served this country. I've seen guys with their legs blown off, vets on the side of the road asking for money. I'm like, we should not live in that type of world, dude.
Mike, were you in Iraq?
No, I went to Kabul, Afghanistan. I did not go to Iraq.
You were in that horse shit, because I just watched something tonight. They actually, Iraq opened the border to Syria, and Pompeo and the secretaries and shit just went and bombed a bunch of crap on that border during that crossing because they were moving probably products, whatever it was, resources from Iraq into Syria to support the Syrian government. And Israel doesn't like that. And the Americas are looking for a reason to go back into Iraq to just then go after Iran because the long-term plan with Bush 2 was initially with Cheney was to go through and regime change the entire Middle East. So
Yeah.
it's already starting to kick off to where they're, Frank Zappa said politics is just a theater element of the military industrial complex. And I don't think that's ever changed.
The truth is, everybody wants power and somebody will get it. And whether or not our influence dictates that, it doesn't matter. Somebody will get it. So if we step away and the strongest person is, or the strongest group or regime out there is anti-American, it's just going to perpetuate the same shit that started it to begin with. So, as Americans, we got to realize that when our government gets involved, if they don't have a setup plan after the war, then it's just going to happen again later on.
Yep.
Their grandchildren are going to be very salty when they grow up in a fucking country that's dismantled because of shit that we got involved in. And even if we were justified, they're not going to get pro-American propaganda. Like get real. They're going to get anti-American propaganda, and that's why it's going to start again. Our whole lives we're going to hear about Middle Eastern conflicts. It's not going to end in our lifetimes. We should have never got involved. We should have never took the bait. Whether or not 9/11 was real, let's say it was a real thing. Let's say it wasn't some type of psyop, because there's some suggestions and facts out there that kind of make it suspicious. But let's say it really happened. It was some terrorists. We should have looked at that like fuck that. And when we did the shock and awe, which is when right after 9/11, we just dropped a whole bunch of fucking bombs on their asses. We should have been done after that. We should have stepped away and said, fuck you guys, boom, 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 dropping all these bombs on their ass, and then leave. And then be done. But keeping our presence there, police state in the place like America. I mean, come on. I mean, even in this country, we're not free. We got a police state for real. And I respect police. I'm not anti-police. We have to have police. But believe me, it's a police state. It's beyond just having officers. So,
no, dude, we can get a whole another fucking thing about the localized police state in the United States. It's gotten way out of fucking hand.
Yeah,
it really is. You want to know why I say that? Because I won't say where I was because I don't like to talk about everything that I've done in my life. But I was at one of those free speech rallies where they had Antifa there, and they pushed us. The police officers pushed us, even though we had permits to be where we were. They pushed us into the Antifa fucking crowd where we started getting beat with bats and sticks and shit. And I started throwing haymakers on motherfuckers. They were throwing mace at us and all kinds of crazy shit. And this was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I think I mentioned it on my channel live stream, like, hey, I'm gonna be gone this weekend. And I came back and I had a black eye and I told you guys what happened. The police, as much as I respect them, and I know it would be anarchy without officers, but they fucking were told to push us, the ones who were trying to be peaceful, just expressing our free speech. We got pushed into the fucking mob of Antifa. You know what who the media painted as evil? Us. They said we were all Nazis, we were all racist, we're all this and that. And I'm sitting there thinking like, dude, my favorite music is rap. At least 4 girls I've dated are black. Most of my best friends are black. I've got my grandmother's nickname. Well, I wouldn't say nickname. Her tribal name was, I'm drunk, it's Tikanoji Gaia, which means woman of feathers. That was my grandmother's Cherokee name. That was her tribal name, woman of feathers. Okay, I'm not white knight or being, that was her real name. Now, the reason why I don't look, I'm not Elizabeth Warren. That bitch lied about her Cherokee heritage. I've got Cherokee heritage. My mother got with an albino guy that was super fucking white. That's why I look like this. But these motherfuckers want to sit there and have, the whole system wants black to hate white, white to hate black. I ain't playing that shit. And so I went to this free speech rally. There was, on CNN and all these other fucking channels, they're like, oh, all these people at these free speech rallies are racist. When I went there was black guys in the free speech rally, and the newscasters never showed it. They never fucking showed it once. If there were black guys, Latinos, there was Latinos or people from Puerto Rico. that were on the free speech side, and they would not fucking show it, and then yet they pushed all of us into the fucking mob. The cops did. You know what I mean? Police state.
Well,
We're in a police state.
Well,
I
think
that. Go ahead, AJ or Dan.
One thing that a lot of people, especially conservatives, don't seem to understand about the police, and I find this to be kind of annoying at times. The main role of the police is not really to serve and protect. You could discuss how much of a role they have in doing that. Or when we didn't have a police state, that may have been the main role at one time. But today, the main role of the police is to enforce the law. And so when your legal system becomes corrupt, and when your local governments become corrupt, and they become basically inundated by leftists, that's exactly the kind of thing that you're going to see. We saw that, I think it was somewhere in Virginia with Antifa, with the people who were on the right protesting were like basically abused, and Antifa came in and like kicked their asses at time. I forget what town that was in. But basically this is what you can expect where the local government's been corrupted. The main role of the police is to enforce the law. And if the law is corrupt, you're going to have corruption within the police force. But
here's another thing I might add, and I don't mean to hog any. I'll be quiet because I know I can go on tangents. But
no, that's
they're not there just to enforce. They're not just to enforce the law, but they're there to follow orders, even if the orders contradict your civil rights. The moment they're given an order, they just follow it. It's like, oh, fuck that person's civil rights. They're gonna fucking go against it, and it has nothing to do with race. The media will talk about race all day and civil rights. No, everybody, every man. Every fucking man, white, black, Hispanic, Latino, Asian, dude, the moment a woman fucking says that you did something to her, she could bang her head on a dresser on purpose and call the cops. Your ass, doesn't matter what race you are, you're fucking done.
Yep.
You are done at that moment. And if you want to see where we're gonna head, we're basically headed. If you look at Israel, it was 2013, something like that. I think it was called Women's Year, where like women could start, they did their own version of Me Too basically back in like 2013, where a woman could just say that a man did something and they would just lock the guy up. Dude, in Israel, men are so fucking miserable that they are almost all of the marriages last year in Israel were with like the men were marrying foreign women and bringing them in. They're not even marrying their local population anymore. And it's fucking, it's savage, but it's crazy. But that's where we're headed. There's gonna be a lot of guys that won't go MGTOW necessarily, but they will. I foresee the future where a lot of guys that reject our side of things, they're still gonna know that we're right, so they're gonna start marrying women from other countries. Watch, just watch. It's coming, bro. That's crazy.
What I call like the MGTOW iceberg. Like with an iceberg, you can see like 10 or 15% of it above the surface, and then the rest of it's invisible. Basically, you have that within MGTOW, where there are a lot of men that they don't really know what MGTOW is. They don't really understand it completely, but then they see things that are going on. And it's just like, yeah, I'm not going to procreate. I'm not going to get married in this environment. I'm not going to make stupid decisions for myself. Like the Mike Pence rule is an example of that. Even though he's married, he has some understanding and realization of what's going on. So that's probably the most potent part, I think, of MGTOW is you have a lot of men that are never even going to hear about it. And they're still effectively going to choose to take that path where they're living in a way that's consistent with the core tenets of not getting married, not cohabitating, and not having kids. You're going to have a lot of men that figured this out without ever hearing of MGTOW. And a lot of people don't account for that, I don't think.
What's cool about
Dan, you were spot on with that.
What's cool about the Mike Pence rule is the fact that he's sitting there. He is a married man. He's kind of blue-pilled in some senses, but it's the fact that he does at least have some understanding that most women, at least he's red-pilled in this, that he understands that most women are not trustworthy, and he obviously understood that way before this last election and before Me Too and all that. Mike Pence obviously had some red-pill knowledge,
right?
So it's good that at least it's out there.
But Mike, he's able to hide it in making an acceptable form for that style of office, not to irritate, which actually makes him more electable, because he then can say, my religious beliefs only allow me to be with my wife. So instead of coming out and say, you know, in reality, I don't trust a single frickin' female out there in this business because they're all out to get me, other than my wife. It looks good. And to Dan's point, the Antifa fights, actually, it happened in New York, because that's a liberal cesspool of shit. The Proud Boys actually got into a fight defending themselves. They were defending themselves against multiple assailants, basically. And because they were the Proud Boys versus Antifa, they got 18 months in jail for beating the living shit out of these soy boy professors' kids that were wearing, you know, get-ups and not showing their face and the rest of the crap in public. And they went to jail, and not the people that actually attacked them with video evidence. I mean, this is the toxicity of family court is now leaking into real law court, the same style of crap.
A year and a half ago, the Proud Boys also, at least 2 of their members got arrested at a gas station right after the free speech rally. And they were just like headed into a gas station, got pulled over, and 2 of their members got arrested. Like on the scene, right there. I see the footage, and so I'm not surprised that they're being harassed more. But here's the thing: we have so many leads to Antifa. Like there's that professor to some college. He's some young poofy haired guy with the long like giraffe neck that was on the Tucker Carlson show some time ago. He's a professor at some college. He's got some huge long fucking neck. They made memes out of his ass, but basically, he went on the Tucker Carlson show with his poofy hair and shit, and he was talking about how he's Antifa and how, you know, if you're against what he's talking about, you're a Nazi and this and that. And Tucker Carlson ripped his asshole like wide open and then butt fucked him with no lube verbally, and then the guy he was made a mockery of all over the web. But you know, we got that guy's name, we got his face, right, and we know he works at a college. He's a professor. And yet he doesn't get harassed by the police like the Proud Boys. What's up with that? Like literally, they're making what is it with those M80s? Those big firecrackers. They're wrapping it with little tape, like you would use at the office. You know, little tiny roll of tape and BBs that you shoot out of a BB gun, and then blowing them up in crowds like little mini grenades. And they're fucking filling shake cups up with Quickcrete and acting like, oh, it's shake mix because it looks like a shake in a cup. Then when it solidifies, they throw it at people. And what's funny is, you know, recently, I think it was in Portland, Antifa was beating on a journalist, an Asian guy, right? And they were beating on him thinking that he was a alt-righter. Ironically, he was a gay guy. He was a gay Asian man, and all these liberals were just beating his ass. And they were beating him with a fucking crowbar, throwing the little shakes at him. And he had like a serious brain trauma injury, and he bounced back and everything. You know, those Asians are smart, so you might knock some of their brain cells out, but they're still gonna have a brain there. So that motherfucker, he came back like a trooper, but he exposed them. He exposed them for being fools because he was a gay guy, and like liberals beating on a gay guy in the streets kind of makes them look contradictory to their message. So it was insane, and they were beating on veterans too with crowbars at that specific event. And so we've got this going on. It's like let's not investigate those guys. Let's not arrest them. Let's go find the Proud Boys and lock them up.
Yeah, like with what I was saying about how the police mainly enforce the law, you made a good point that it's the people who control law enforcement. It's not necessarily the letter of the law being enforced equally on people. It's like once your law enforcement is under the control of the left, you're going to get things like the Duluth model. You're going to get things like what you've mentioned with being violent only against one group of people and not against.
The mayor told the officers at the rally that I went to, and it was the last one I went to. When it happened, I was like, this is bullshit. The mayor told the police officers to fucking push us through. So yes, it's just like what you're saying, the Duluth model. They literally don't give a fuck about you, and they don't care about your rights.
Yeah. Well, the thing that annoys me is that there are a lot of conservatives that they kind of have some what you could call red pill knowledge about certain political issues like the Constitution and our rights being infringed upon. But then they think the police are just going to be there for them and just kind of uphold the Constitution and uphold all these things. It's like, no, once law enforcement, once the laws themselves and the people that control the laws become corrupt, your police force is corrupt. And people, the conservatives can't stand that. Like, that's very, I imagine a lot of conservatives would get pissed off hearing that, really. But it's just, they don't seem to get it, that you can't rely on that anymore.
And what's sad is when I tell conservatives, because most of the people that were there, they were conservative. When I tell other conservatives my experience at that rally, they're like, oh, that's just that place because it was a liberal city. I'm like, no, I think that would happen in any other city in the same scenario. If the mayor said X, Y, and Z, they're going to fucking infringe upon your rights. And like, and conservatives don't want to fucking hear it. You know, I might have came from a conservative background, but nothing red-pilled me more than realizing how stuck in a box that conservatives mostly are. And you're right, bro. Seriously. So we call them trad cucks.
Trad cucks.
You gotta love Line of MGTOW LOM. Man, when he says it, I think he's the best at saying trad cooks. He's like, he's fucking trad cooks. He's fucking trad cooks.
Trad cooks.
Give them nothing.
Give them nothing. He got great catchphrases.
Yeah. He made that popular. To give them nothing. I see that in every video somewhere.
I think his channel got taken down at one point.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And I searched everywhere. I got mad. I made a video about it. I got pissed. I said, I'm gonna find his fucking new channel when he comes back. He came back 2 weeks later, something like that. And I fucking put his video out there. So did all the homies. Look, back in the day when I made a video with Everyday, man, we had a real tight knit, red shield fucking group. We need that shit to happen again, man. Because when guys like him fell, you know, he fell. Even Miggy when it was MGTOW 101.
Yeah.
Sydney fell, Kendall Rican, Undead Chronic, even though he's not MGTOW, he supports us, he got our back, so we had his back. All these channels kept falling, but we always came back. As soon as they had a channel, we all found it. We all emailed each other, we on Discord, whatever we had to do, we reached out, we were already connected. And that's what they didn't expect. They didn't expect us to have a connection with each other. And when we had that, where we had each other's personal info, we could just ring up each other's phone, like, hey, what's up? Hey, this and that happened. You know, that's how this look to the ones watching. A lot of the content producers, we don't need YouTube to talk to each other. That's what YouTube is scared of. We're all connected like a fucking web, dude. And you know, all these channels failed. We came back and said, hey, his new channel, here's a link. And we just come up with a video, bam, everybody comes back, everybody resubscribes. It's a slow climb back to the top, but it made YouTube go, fuck, man, it's not going to be easy to take these guys out. You know, we're like cancer, bro. We might be in recession, but we're coming back. We need that group. We need everybody to start fucking having each other's backs when shit happens, man.
But the problem you run into there is Kappa actually has got stuff to do to that, because they were already talking. You catch that one douche of a federal SEC guy that said, you know, we're going to start going after the content creator, and he basically compared us to fish in a barrel.
That's funny.
You know that actually is supposed to start here next month. So basically, they're they just lining the groups up. And the other part about that whole political thing with Pence that nobody really gives credit for, the Kavanaugh hearings for the Supreme Court did more for MGTOW than any of us ever could. Because you got a guy going that's had his histories combed through multiple times as a judge, who now is paraded in front of national television as a so-called conservative judge with false accusations from 40 years ago, and dragging him through the mud. Now, it didn't work, but that's what the left does. And it's so funny to me because the consciousness of MGTOW went skyrocketed after that. Just the absolute absurdity that didn't expect that national television on watching a guy's reputation be completely destroyed, and for what? A false accusation? You know what? I'm glad that guy got on the court.
You know what shocks me is we're still talking about Kavanaugh and Weinstein and all that. Yet fucking Cardi B has an open admission 3 years before we leaked it, 3 years before we even leaked it, that she was robbing guys up that she met at the strip club, like promising them sex and all this and that, robbing them after she drugs them up.
And she got a movie.
And she got away with it. It was talked about on like low key underground channels, but there was no mainstream. I didn't see nothing on the mainstream talking about it. But if she had a fucking penis, if she had a fucking penis at all, even if she was Bruce fucking Jenner, I'm gonna say Bruce Jenner with his penis and tits. If that bitch had a penis, even if she had with her titties and ass and all, if she had a penis swinging, her ass would have been crucified for that shit. But no,
well,
it's a woman. Let's just all look to the side and let's talk about it for 2-3 months and then let's never talk about it again. No, I'm gonna rehash that soon because I'm mad that nothing ever fucking came of it, and I want to rehash that.
The guy in California that was doing the dine and dash on women. He'd go to these fancy restaurants, order top end food, eat it, and when the bill came, he'd leave. And he was dine dash. He did it to like.
Yeah.
I mean, he did it on half a dozen girls, and you know what? He got put in jail for 6 or 8 months for that. It's like, fuck. A woman does that every single time she goes out on a date. What's the difference?
All the time they do that.
That's insane. There's a guy that went to jail because his wife got custody of his special needs son, and then the son died. And then the guy went on Facebook and criticized the judge. Didn't say anything threatening.
Yep.
And didn't say anything that had to do with killing anybody or hurting or anything like that. He was completely just criticizing the justice system. Wasn't even MGTOW. That's the crazy part. Wasn't even a MGTOW, wasn't red-pilled. He probably is now. I wouldn't be surprised. But he criticized the justice system because his son fucking died. The guy wasn't grieving. I mean, imagine your son fucking dies and you love that mother. You want to raise him. You want him to have a good life. And your wife divorce rapes you, takes the kid. You're fighting for custody. You lose it because you have a penis. And then next thing you know, you find out he's dead. She didn't take care of him properly. The kid dies. Guess what? The mother goes unpunished and he gets locked up because the judge, who was a female. Now that's the important part of the story. The judge was a female and he criticized her online on Facebook and she felt unsafe. And because of that, he got locked up. And then he gets out and he says on Facebook, I'm here to dig up the skeletons in the justice system. Wasn't even a MGTOW, but that was his goal. He gets locked up twice. Now, I haven't heard anything new, any updates, but that to me is proof of gynocentrism. If they want to talk about evidence, that's a fucking true story. Look it up. Look up. You could write this down if you got a pen and paper. Father gets locked up for criticizing judge over the death of his son. Just something like that. You'll find a story. I guarantee you will. I did a video on it. I did a video on it a while back, but that is a fucked up story.
That's not evidence of gynocentrism. That's evidence of communism.
Well, you know what? Feminism and communism they kind of butt fuck each other and do a circle jerk all day long in America.
Well, and that's the problem I run into is a lot of the conversations most of us will have periodically. And I pretty much, like, don't get me wrong, I try to stay out of politics, but Obama did so much shit that everybody didn't understand. And if all you understood about Obama was he was a Muslim, everything made sense. And it made sense based on that paradigm. And what we're running into now is all these laws. Now, if you look at all these problems and all these issues that are happening and just recognize that it's the Communist States of America, LLC, because the government is a corporation, everything makes sense. The Communist States of America Corp, not the United States government of the American people. There's a big difference of what you're looking at. That's all. And me, I just sit here and I got my 2 dogs and life is okay.
Well, it's kind of like what is the name? George Carlin, something like that. That old comedian back in the day. He said, if you look, he goes, it doesn't matter what city you go to, it doesn't matter what state you go to. All across America, it's just one big fucking strip mall. The same fucking businesses, the same restaurants, the same fucking companies, the same clothes, the same shoes, the same everything. People just talk different. That's pretty much it. But you know, we live in a giant strip mall. And when you realize that, because I traveled in marketing, I've been to Navy Pier, Chicago. I went to Fishkill, New York. I went to Atlantic City. I've been through the Lincoln Tunnel multiple times. It's $14 for the toll, believe it or not. And cigarettes in New York is a fucking insane. It's like $20 a fucking pack, dude. Okay, but yeah, $14 for the Lincoln Tunnel, and they don't fix the potholes. But I've been to Branson, Missouri. I've traveled everywhere. You see a Chili's everywhere. You see a McDonald's everywhere. You see a fucking Ross everywhere. You see these fucking Big Lots and Walmarts. Like, it's the same. Dollar Tree, like, it's fucking everywhere. It looks the same everywhere. Different landscape, same businesses, same matrix. When you realize that the corporations own this country, when you've seen it for yourself, like I really have, you literally go, you know what? I don't even care about traveling anymore. It's boring. Like, you eat the same lobsters, you eat the same fucking burgers, you know what I'm saying? At some point, life loses its flavor once you've traveled as much as I have. And I wasn't a millionaire. I did make six figures, but I wasn't a millionaire. But I can tell you right now why rich people they lose their flavor in life and become depressed, because once you've seen that everything's a big strip mall, you realize that it's like everything's synthetic after that. So you're right. The corporations own everything, and that's why life sucks. Literally.
Well, there's no fear.
Yeah. Everything's the same everywhere, dude. And that's what they want.
I got one for you, Mike, and I noticed this. You know how when you walk into a Walmart, there's about 20, 30 checkout lines, and there's only about 4 of them that people are working at, maybe, and then you get the self-checkout on the end?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They got dividers, scanners, computers.
Yeah.
I walked into a Target in Denver, Colorado. Now, this is a newer Target building, and it looked absolutely exactly the same checkout design as Walmart. Now, I was thinking to myself, what do you need a row of computers? Because every Walmart I've ever been in has never had enough people at the checkouts. They'll only have 2 or 3 checkouts open, but they've got 20 computer setups with scanners and dividers and all the rest of the nonsense. And it really made me think, because you'd think the internal designers would want to differentiate a Target from a Walmart. But in this large, like, it was Wheat Ridge, Colorado. So it was the western side of Denver, high population area into a shopping center. I said to myself, the Walmart checkouts look exactly like this Target's checkout. And I was thinking, because you never see them actually used, why do they need that many rows of computers and scanners? And I went, you know what that is? Chip readers, barcode scanners, you're allowed in, you're processed. And I went, son of a bitch.
I'm going to give you some information that I don't normally talk about, because it is just a conspiracy at this point, but yet there's a lot of facts behind it. But
you can see
there's a lot of stories of Walmart's claiming, they had bad plumbing, so they shut the whole Walmart down. They put a big barbed wire fence around it like a prison, and now you just have this empty complex. I've worked at a Walmart. There's actually there's a part of Walmart you guys never see, and that's the outer perimeter of the entire square building, because it's usually a square rectangular building. There's actually walls and rooms all the way along every wall. There's like a hallway that goes along the entire perimeter of the building, and that's where all the stock is. So when you see the deli door that goes back, there's actually there's not tunnels, but there's basically like hallways that go along the whole out. Like, if my square was Walmart, there's like hallways with like little sections to everything that go all the way around the whole building. It goes all the way around it. And when I was working at Walmart, I was like, man, if shit hit the fan, you could turn this place into a base. Like, you have everything you fucking need. You know what I mean? And like, you have these little outer walls. You can run from one section to the other without anybody knowing. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. And you have all these like areas where, like, when you load in your new stock or whatever the fuck, like like the whole system is pretty amazing. So I went online, and this is what's really important. I went online and I looked at Walmart's website. They have a contract with the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, and I don't know if any of you guys know this, but they have that. And just like you're pointing out this line thing, I thought about that many times before. I'm seeing even Dollar Tree has like multiple fucking cash registers closed, and they don't have the self checkout. But I've noticed that there's less and less people at cashiers.
Yep.
And basically what I'm thinking is they need all those extra cashiers for something, right? When the shit hits the fan, they're going to need those cashiers. Look, if they got rid of those and said, well, we never use them, but then the shit hit the fan, a nuke war or maybe public chaos or whatever the fuck, like anything can happen in history. You look at a history book, it's like, man, shit could really go south at any point in life. But some shit hits the fan, whether you're in Florida, there's a hurricane, because I've seen those evacuations. They suddenly open up all of those lines. All of those lines that you never seen open before. When there's an evacuation in Florida, they will open up every fucking line. I've seen it. And next thing you know, there's nothing on the shelves. And so basically what's going to happen at some point, if anything, if the Department of Homeland Security needs a Walmart, needs access to a Walmart, they will take it over. They have contracts with them. And whether they're going to turn it to concentration camps or whether they're going to use it for good, it has remained to be seen. They haven't done it yet, but that's why they have all those lines. And I know there was a question that you had, but look, that's what it's for. You can look it up. They have a contract with the Department of Homeland Security. It's kind of odd, but that's probably why Walmart's been able to take over the fucking United States and the corporate world. With their
government back.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're fucking everywhere.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and even on the busiest shopping days, you only see like 8 or 10 that are being used, like even Black Friday and everything else. So the only sense that it would make is if it's made for a SHTF scenario. Like it's the only reason to have that many checkouts, and exactly what they would use it for. Like you say, maybe when there's hurricanes and stuff, they do use all of them. But what else they might use them for, I don't know.
Well, I guarantee if you've ever been in the military, the next time you go in a Walmart, think of how like if you've ever been in a hangar or you've ever just the way that the buildings are built on the military, whether you're at the barracks, whether you're in a hangar, whether you're in an air tower, it doesn't matter. Like how it's built, go at a Walmart, look at the structure, and if you've been in the warehouse, look at that too. You're like, man, this is like military shit almost. Like they even have they've got finger scanner technology that they're starting to implement in some Walmarts. That they had finger scan technology before they had it on y'all's phones. When I was in the military in 2008, they had finger scan technology in the military. We were using it. So like you're starting to implement this shit in y'all's phones and all this other shit. Man, don't play into that. If you got a S9 or something like that, man, please don't use your fingerprint. That's just another way to keep track of you, man. And
that's also why everywhere you go, you know how many cameras are in a Walmart? You shop at a Walmart, they got your facial recognition down pat. I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah, it's just like the show Person of Interest. You ever seen Person of Interest? It's like the show.
It wasn't a long time ago. Somebody made a false claim against me, and like 20 cops showed up at my fucking crib, and they had me at gunpoint. And I talked to them, and the other people that made the false claim, their stories didn't match, so they found out I was telling the truth. But you know how they found my ass? My phone. My phone gives me a fucking a little text message that says, "Walk outside peacefully. Do not be armed." Da, da, da. I'm like, what the fuck? And I texted back, "I'm coming out peacefully," because I could hear there was cops outside.
It's
I go outside. I'm like, and it was over a false fucking claim because they made a threat against me saying that there was gonna be dudes that were gonna come over and scuff me up or some shit. I got into an argument with somebody. And basically, I said, if they show up over here, I'm cutting somebody because I got a broken ankle. You ain't fucking touching me. And so they called the cops saying I pulled a knife out when I didn't. All I said was I was going to defend myself. And because I'm a man, boom, all these damn cops. And
Mike,
I text them and said I left. I said because they said, hey, just so you know, the cops are on their way. It's like, doesn't matter. I left, and I just sat where I was. I didn't leave. But the cops weren't fooled at all because they literally texted me and said, "We know you're in the house." I was like, oh my god, they fucking have my number and texted me like that, know where I'm at.
Well, but
so you guys, when you got these phones, you're not safe. You're always tracked by the government at all times. If you have if the shit ever hits the fan, it might be hard for some of you. Throw that fucking phone in the goddamn garbage. I'm saying, no, look, if the shit ever hits the fan, it's going to be the hardest thing to do. Even me as a content producer, I will throw that fucker in the garbage so fast.
Well, unless the network go down, then it'd be easy to do.
Yeah.
I'm just glad those dumbasses didn't have their stories right because they fucking you guys would be like, hey, where'd Mike go? Yeah, look, just like Mr. Hate Vicious, sometimes I run in with the law, but because I'm level-headed, logical, and I don't let my emotions get me, I've always come through. These fucking cucks and these people out here, They want to sabotage our lives. And so, you know, what you got to do is just always keep a level head, man. Even if you get burnt in life, keep a level head, dude. They want us to smash.
I take it the Reverend took off. That he's left.
Yeah, his battery is low, so he's recharging.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's recharging. Yeah.
Well, I've
Mike,
had
you
mine
also
the whole time, so I'm good on this.
Yeah, Mike, you're ex-military, so you got a bullseye in your back from the get-go. I mean, that's just how that is.
It is. I've had coffee poured on me. I'm not from the Vietnam era, but shit, I was at a Greyhound bus station. Somebody came up to me and said, "Are you ex-military?" I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, you got your duffel bag, and it just kind of looks like the way you walk with your thumbs like this, like they put their hand like that." So I thought they were military or ex-military or something. I said, "Yeah, my name's Mike." And they went to stick their hand out, but their other hand had a cup of coffee, and they squeezed it as they lunged it at me, so the lid popped off, and all that coffee came on me. Dude, I slowly just set my bag down. I was unzipping my jacket, and about that time, the security guy came by and tackled that guy. Straight tackled him. I was like, man, even though that guy tackled him with brutal force, I was like, that guy just saved that guy's ass. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, if there was ever a time to go full fucking like just red lens, just not even red pill, just a red lens, just. It's like that scene in Forrest Gump where he white knighted for Jenny. That look that he had, that was the look that I fucking had. Because that motherfucker, it was almost like it was like he grabbed this and set it on fire when he did that and poured coffee on me. It wasn't that he poured coffee on me. I thought he did on the flag. That's how I felt. And like, if that guy didn't get tackled, man, I'll tell you, I was gonna do some stupid things. But that's the only time, other than the protest at the free speech, that I've ever experienced any disrespect, though. You know, so at least it's not like Vietnam era where it happened like all the fucking time. So we'll say that. Liberals are scared to get their ass kicked nowadays, unless they're in a mob.
I think I'm gonna check out. It's past midnight. We're in 2020. Clear vision to everyone.
The year for men, 2020. The year for men.
Oh yeah.
Well, being a man is the year. The being a man is all it takes to be a man. At least we don't have to gripe, bitch, and complain about being a feminist to get any attention. We're men. Fuck it.
Yep.
But I gotta roll. Sleep. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See ya, man. Alrighty.
Sorry if I seem to talk too much, guys. I gotta let other people talk because I can talk forever, dude.
No problem. I don't know what to say, man. I'm pretty tired right now too. But any of you guys want to ask any questions or what you're looking forward to in 2020 or something?
Well, I want to say this, and then I'll exit out real quick because honestly, I got to go get a few shots, and then I'll start a live stream myself because I want to get drunk and fucked up.
Damn, you're grinding on these videos.
It's not midnight where I'm at yet. So anybody on the Florida West Coast, that's where I'm at. So basically, long story short, guys, we're doing all these purges. We're doing this and that on my channel, but I want you guys to know what you guys want us to do. Because I know we need to start building a crew up, man. I know we've got each other's backs. Mm-hmm. We got to start doing what we used to do, have the round tables and this and that, the other. Like what we just did, that was magic. But we need to start doing it when we're sober, not just on nights like tonight, and have these fucking groups, man. AJ, dude, seriously, man, props for you to sit here and have us all together. There's not, once Mr. Elite dropped off, I didn't have a channel to link and connect all of us with. So perhaps you can fulfill that prophecy of having us all together. Because you have that capability. I've got a computer. I'm not good with that OSB shit yet, but I'll work on it. But I want you, AJ, tell me what my next topic request is, and then I'll get out of here.
Next topic request, I'm
drunk, but I'll remember.
Well, you could talk about what you talked about earlier about Walmart and how it's used with technology, the fingerprint thing. You could basically touch on that. I think it's an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah, you talking about like with their contract with the Department of Homeland Security?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if shit hits the fan, like there's something there. I don't know. I can't fill in all the blanks, but I will give my theories on it for sure. Yeah, just look, like if you look it up, there's a lot of them that get closed down all the time, and they put barbed wire behind, like all the way around it. Like why? I see buildings closed down that never happens to, but Walmart's it always happens to, and it's like stupid shit. Like, oh, the plumbing went bad. Dumb excuses.
Yeah. So yeah, a topic on Walmart, since Walmart is a very big thing and it's a very big keyword for searching. So a topic on Walmart would be interesting.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We got that. All right, guys. This is Mike MGTOW Man signing off, and as always, hey, what is it? What is it? As always, what? Let's see if you guys know it.
I don't know what you're looking for.
no cohabitate, stay single, MGTOW for life, something like that.
I always say, I'm drunk, but I always say never give in.
Never give up, never surrender. MGTOW, MGTOW for life. Yeah.
I'm drunk, guys. God damn it. I'm gonna drink some water and some Gatorade, eat a snack, then I'll go on my live stream on my channel. But I gotta sober up a little bit because I'm gonna drink on that live stream. So, all right, guys, we'll have a good night tonight. All right, bye.
All right, man. Take care.
Yep. Have a good one.
Yeah, going.
Well, I'm probably going to take off here too, I guess.
Yeah, me too. But it was great talking to you. Great meeting you. How did you find out about Reverend 20 Piece and everybody else? I'm not familiar with your channel.
I started talking to Rev back when Sunrise Hoodie was making a lot of videos.
Oh, wow.
And Sunrise Hoodie kind of like, he talked about my channel a little bit, and obviously he's made live streams with the Rev. So basically he wanted to get me on a live stream just to talk. So that's basically how.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember he used to collaborate with Darius one time.
Yeah, and Darius I've talked to him a few times too, just in comments and stuff. So yep, that's pretty much how.
Yeah, he's still making content. He's still strong with his content.
Yep. I haven't seen his channel for a while, but he seems like he gets a lot of views on his stuff now. So.
Oh yeah, he has about 60,000 subs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's growing. Yep, very good job.
Yep,
all right, so it was great meeting you, man.
Thanks, AJ.
No problem. Happy New Year. Be safe. Stay single. No cohabitate. Don't get married.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing those things anytime soon, like forever. So.
No problem. Take care, man.
Have a good night.
All right, no problem. All right, child. So this is the stream for today. So take care, guys. Happy New Year. Stay single. No cohabitate. Stay out of marriage and stay single. Take care. Peace.